This is Larva versus Sharp. Larva looking very strong in his previous End of the World series. But now he's going up against a Terran player, and it's a Terran that's someone other than Flash. So I'm really excited to see how well Sharp performs. My personal opinion of Sharp is he's very good in Terran versus Terran and Terran versus Protoss. But I personally think that his Terran versus Zerg is probably his weakest matchup. And because of that, I do think that Larva is probably the favorite. I would say not a huge favorite. This could definitely be close, 5-4. But my prediction would be 6-3 for Larva. Because when Larva is on, this guy is almost untouchable. His macro's crazy. Just endless amounts of units. Flash has talked about how strong he is. Really, you can't keep up with Larva when he's playing at his top form. Even Flash has admitted to that. Now we do have Fighting Spirit as our first map. We've got Sharp at top left. Larva is bottom right. And this was played after ASL. So we have seen some mech play from players like Flash. 12 gas into pure mech, into a Goliath timing, also into the 2-1 camp style that you see in Terran versus Protoss. That is a possibility that we will see that from Sharp. And Sharp, the last time I saw him, I think it was KSL, he ended up trying to go for a mech switch versus Sulky. So the chances of him going for some type of mech play is very possible. So far, we're not going to have mech this time because we do have no 12 gas, unless he's going to go for delayed mechanic, which is actually kind of coming into fashion these days. You don't see it often, but you do see it sometimes. And really, that was a build that you never saw, ever. Meanwhile, Larva is going for a 3-hatch play. We do not see a gas coming up just yet. If he's going to go for gas, it's going to be within the next 10 seconds. It would be the 2.5 hatch build. But so far, this is going to be 3-hatch. And Larva does get a nice first scout. He sees exactly what's going on. He sees that there is no tech, no 10-10-10, no 1-1-1. And Sharp is just going to go for the standard command center follow-up. A little bit greedy getting it off of one Marine, but because he got into the base, he's able to cut that Marine, get the command center down a little bit faster, and a nice gas steal. It's going to delay the gas for just a little bit. Really annoying. Going to have to transfer more drones to the natural. And I am paying close attention to the mini-map Sharp. We don't see an extractor coming up. It is not going to be the delayed mech. And this SCV was so close to going down. The drone almost picking it off. Larva is... Oh, he still got it! His drones are the most dangerous out of all Zerg players I've seen. He will chase down units. He doesn't care about sacking a little bit of econ to do it. And Sharp, he knows how killer Larva is. He's going to send out a second scout immediately. He wants to know exactly what's going on. We do have some Marines sharking around the left side, but Larva with a nice positioning of the Overlord. It's not going to be found just yet. And, he drilled into the minerals. That's how he was able to get through that drone. Really nicely done. He sees that there's a lair, and he can confirm that it is not going to be speed first. Meanwhile, we've got the eBay coming up. This is going to be 5 racks, everything really standard. Now, what does Sharp want to do with this 5 racks? Of course, he's going to be aggressive, but is he going to mech switch? It is cross position. Will he go for drops? We'll have to wait and see. Sharp is definitely one of those players that can mix it up. He's not someone like Rush, where I see almost exclusively go for mass dropships and battlecruisers. And I see a building went down for Larva at his second hatchery. Is that a Hydra Den? That's got to be a Hydra Den. We're going to have a lurker bust. The observer hasn't found it just yet, but that is 100% something being built at the second hatchery. Yep, there it is. And this could be for a bust. This could be just for getting a fast third base. Now, Larva doesn't know what Sharp's doing, A 2-Rax would be devastating if he tries to take a fast third base. He would get shut down very quickly. And players like Zealot have really started to use Lurker Busts quite often. Now usually Zealot does it off of 2-Hatch, which is kind of deceiving because whenever you're facing 2-Hatch as a Terran, you're always just assuming 100% of the time that it's going to be Mutaplay. So this really could be a bust. We don't see a drone headed anywhere. Maybe that's a drone heading out just now. This so far looks like it's not going to be a bust, but definitely does have the potential. He's got double gas, which again, as a Terran player, if you were to scan right now, see double gas, you're thinking this is mutas 100% of the time because lurkers really don't need that much gas unless you're going to go for something like drops. You're going to commit to something like 7, 8, 9 lurkers, try and bust those bunkers. And this is going to be split map. This is J-Yoon-esque. Wow. Hydrogen into straight Queen's Nest. So Larva's Econ is going to be going haywire. He's going to rush out those defilers, make sure he's not weak to any type of bust anywhere. And then what does he want to do with it? Most likely he would go into Ultralisk, I imagine, but we don't see any evolution chambers up. The one thing Larva has to be careful for is making sure he gets his Spire on time. If Sharp was able to sneak a dropship into top right, that could be a quick kill. Damn, a 7-minute hive starting. That's so fast. And Sharp, he knows that something's going on. He's sending an SCV to top right, and he's going to see the bad news that lurkers are already set up. And the lurkers are just barely out of range of these Marines, and this is going to be a hold position lurker burrow. And if those Marines dart to top right, that could be catastrophic. I love the 2 lurkers in the front. Larva repositioning those hold lurkers, trying to intercept the Marines. So far, they still have not been found. He may... Oh, I think the Marines found them just now. Sharp is going to be able to avoid. Look at those Marines. They would have just waltzed over that lurker field. So unfortunate. And Larva's in trouble. He has no sunken. He was relying on these lurkers to get a lot done. And this is a big bio ball. Sharp might just end it. Hive clearly has not kicked in just yet. There's no defilers. Lurkers are burrowing, but that's a lot of... They don't have speed. Oh, they do have speed. A big flank coming in. But is it too much bio? No, it is not. It's just barely enough lurkers. It is only the 8-minute mark, so +1 armor hasn't kicked in for the Marines. It's going to be very difficult to engage into a lurker field of this quantity. So even though Sharp was not able to get a lot of damage done, he at least forced a lot of lings, forced a lot of lurkers. We see that top right has completed, and there's not a lot of drones set up just yet. So Sharp's still in an okay position. And there's the Defiler Mound. There's the Evolution Chamber as expected, rushing out those upgrades. And this is setting up to be a variation of Crazy Zerg. Of course, Crazy Zerg is extremely fast 2-hatch or hidden 3-hatch Ling Ultra. But this is going to be something like that. It's going to be very similar in upgrades. And Sharp is in trouble. He needs to get a third base. He needs to get out a lot of vessels. He needs to get a dropship to top right. Try and get something done there. Did we see a Spire anywhere, though? That's the one thing I'm concerned about. There are the double starport. There's the science facility. So that means that that is a dropship coming out. And if we look at top right, really not a lot of defense. A couple lurkers, but with the fast hive, Nidus will be up in time. There we go. There's Scourge. Larva, he's pretty safe. Now, something you really don't want to see as a Terran player is the supplies being this close. 95 to 75. Really damn close for a Terran versus Zerg at this point in the game. But at least Sharp has kept Larva in check. The Econ is not ballistic just yet. Really just now getting drones mining at top right. Double dropship. Now, what does he want to do with it? Is he going to split them up? There's no vessels out just yet. They don't have D-Matrix, so they are a little bit weak. Sharp seems to want to go for an elevator. And look at that black spot right there. There is a tiny opening that he can use. Though I also don't see any Scourge. He may get in here. And this is going to be a nightmare. Larva, instant reaction, but Marines have already unloaded. Oh, so many Lurkers, though. Oh, they got a split. Good split. Lurker's going to fall one by one, and that's a lot of Marines left over. There's still medics to heal. Sharp has done a really good job to get back into this game. Really thought Larva was just going to be miles ahead. 1-1 has even kicked in. Oh, and dropships went straight down to the entrance of Larva's base. And he's going to set up for a double drop. One into the natural, one into the main. Scourge intercept the first one. He was able to unload a couple Marines, but that's going to be annoying. And drop into the main is going to be annoying too. Scourge are trying to find that second dropship. He knows. Oh, the game sense from Larva is fantastic. Picking off the second dropship for basically minimal losses. Only losing the Scourge, and we still haven't seen how many kills that one Marine is going to get. Looks like Sharp just gave up on it. So perfect play so far. Really losing nothing. And now the Defilers are out. Oh, somehow he got one Lurker. But now that the Defilers are out, oh, more dropships. And I'm always skeptical of players going for this mass drop style. If Zerg is just so airtight, you know, you're cutting into your vessel production. But Sharp is going to go for it again. There's only 2 Scourge. He was able to skirt the defense. He's going to get one of them caught, though. Larva really on top of his game. Sharp trying to harass at the bottom. And this is going to get cleaned up. And now look at the supplies. Even. Sharp does have a third base, though, so that's nice. But lacking on the vessels. Looking at his main, we see more blocks going up in his barracks area. This is probably going to be bioplay as opposed to a mech switch. And double evolution chamber. +1 armor should be kicking in for the Lings any moment now. And that's going to be... Whoa! +2 already for Sharp. He built an engineering bay very quickly. Or he got his science facility very quick. Because normally you're getting that around 13 minutes. I realize this is only about 20 or 30 seconds faster. But still, that's a nice upgrade advantage. Meanwhile, Larva going to take his 4th base. We see a macro hatch has gone up at top right. And with +1 still not kicked in for Zerg, I am getting a little worried that this Ultra style that I'm assuming will come out may not end up working. There's +1. And I love the couple Lurkers at bottom left. If you can ever deny Terran getting their side of the map, it becomes almost impossible to get it. Defilers end up just sitting there forever. Lurkers are hella annoying to deal with under Darkswarm. So a cute move by Larva. But Sharp has got his eyes set on top right. He does not want Larva to get this 4th base. 4-base Zerg is really when they're starting to hit their big power spike. But so far, Larva's done a good job maintaining his supply. It is still even. Another contingency force going to bottom middle. Not going to find an expansion there, but Larva's econ is crazy now. But Sharp's Bio Ball still pretty strong. He's done a good job to keep his vessels alive too. He's still got 4. I'd like to see about 6. That's when the irradiates just start going off forever. But I am worried that Sharp hasn't gotten another base. Okay, now he takes mid left. But again, if we look at bottom left, we see a couple dots down there. That might be a Lurker and Defiler. And I'm just getting so worried that Sharp's taking too long to secure his side of the map. Once Zerg gets to the 17-minute mark, that's when basically they have everything set up. They got all their macro hatches. They've got saturation at all their bases. That's when Hive Tech has started to kick in. That's really when Zerg power spike hits. And if Sharp doesn't have tanks set up on ledges, mines everywhere, or big bio ball, it's going to be really hard for him to keep up with the production as Zerg. But we see Sharp Has no plans of going for any type of tanks. He's going battle cruisers. And I don't agree with this. His drops really did not do that much. The game is not chaotic. He's basically going to be running battle cruisers into a standard game. Nothing has really happened. And battle cruisers, just when the game is not crazy, they're pretty easy to stop, honestly. So much production from Larva. So many lurkers. The irradiates are good. He's whittling down a few lurkers and defilers here and there. But the econ is just nuts. 140 to 150. Sharp, man, you got to get some mines or something, because Larva is about to turn on the juice. There's the battle cruisers. But I'm just not seeing what they're really going to do. Plague plus Dark Swarm. Even just one Hydra under a Dark Swarm is more than enough to deal with a battle cruiser, as long as you just plague it. Now, Sharp's army is still very strong, but it's going to be very hard to control all this bio. So it's a bit deceptive, the supply advantage he has right now. Meanwhile, Ultras have just now started coming out. Sharp's doing a really good job to use up his energy on the vessels. He's done about as much as he can, but now that the econ's kicked in, okay, he is turning around. So that's a smart move. He's going to deny bottom middle. Really nicely done. 2 battle cruisers are going to be annoying at this 4th base, but so far, not doing very much. And now this army's going to get cleaned up. +4 armor for the Ultras. They're going to be able to deal with this small army pretty easily. And we see that the battle cruiser dots at the top just got wiped out. This is pretty much as expected. Battle cruisers are good, but it can't just be, oh, I built battle cruisers, so it's time to just go attack at any random place. And Sharp got punished. 8 barracks for Sharp. He's got mid left, so he's got 4 base, which is great. Oh, no defiler! No defiler. This might be Sharp's moment. Catch Larva with his pants down, but he's not able to move in just yet. Larva's done a really good job to maintain building those lurkers, and another small attack to top middle. But you can see how much multitask is actually hurting Sharp. Look at his money. He's got 2K, 1K almost. Imagine if he had built even just 2 factories and just spammed tanks. He'd have 5 tanks set up at top middle, bottom left somewhere. And now we finally see a supply lead for Larva. A lot of vessels. Now, this is just so hard to make work. I mean, Sharp can do it, but it's going to be very difficult. Another drop gets picked off. So Larva just showing us exactly how to deal with this drop play. Have Scourge just spread out all over your base. Lings everywhere. Play a defensive Zerg. Don't have to be over aggro. Let your econ kick in. And now he's primed to just run Sharp over. Sharp's army is very big. Wow. Larva's feeling it when he takes mid. Oh, that's not a mid. I thought that was a hatchery. I saw the block. Greater. Oh, no. Finally, Sharp's vessels may get caught. He loses 2. Ultra gets blasted down. So Sharp's supply is 170, but where is his supply? His bio ball really does not look that big. Meanwhile, Larva's army is starting to get scary. We're seeing more and more Ultras, more Scourge, almost connect with those vessels. Gonna go in now that his army has met up, and Sharp, he's got to scramble. He's trying to save these vessels. He must save them. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, and we're stuck with 2 vessels left. Oh, he does have more vessels. He's got 5, but you're seeing it here. This is exactly what Zerg does. They play defensive, defensive, defensive. Let their econ kick in, get all their macro hatches going, and it's just almost impossible to deal with. And Sharp, he's not even going to save top middle. He's going to go for a counterattack. He's going to deny mid right. But Zerg can survive on 4 base for so long. I don't know about this move. He's actually going to try and go for a killing move. This might be genius. He needs to get that Nidus, though. A lurker under the overlord. Oh, a perfect plague. Defiler went down. More lurkers and lings coming out. They get irradiated immediately. He's got to get this Nidus. If he can get this Nidus, he might be able to close this game. No, it's just so many units coming from the back. And now we have a huge swing in supply. Larva up 30. Sharp, he's mined out in his main. Natural, only mining mid-left. Meanwhile, this is Zerg. Zerg's main natural are all fine. He's still on 4 base, a couple battle cruisers. But what are these supposed to do? Just absolutely perfect from Larva. This is how I wish I could play Zerg versus Terran. It looks so good. It's like unstoppable. To control bio is so difficult. Sharp, he did a really good job. But it's just, it's a nightmare to deal with 10 hatch Zerg with 4 or 5 base. Now Larva, he can't afford to just keep throwing ultras like this. He did lose a few for free, but I don't think it matters. It's just too much. And you see Larva is going to bottom left. Oh, I just realized he has vision of bottom left. Oh, so many Scourge. Able to take out one of the battle cruisers. Second one almost dies to a spore colony. Yeah, these are all going to die. It just looks so easy. Battle cruisers usually deal so well with the Scourge. But Larva takes him out almost immediately. I didn't get to see if the Scourge have +1 armor. If he does, then that's why the Scourge were connecting so well. Battle cruisers one-shot Scourge unless they have +1 armor. And now mid-left has been compromised. We're not mining anymore. So Sharp's got one last attack, and he's going to be out of this game. And Larva, just what do you do? He's so good playing the defensive game, Zerg versus Protoss. Clearly he can do it in Zerg versus Terran. And the drops from Sharp, he went at angles that were really great. And it just didn't matter. So really we are just waiting for the GG. There's nothing left for Sharp. His bio ball is puny. Meanwhile, Larva is massive. Marines are mowing down these lings, but it's not going to be enough. Well, I mean, he's taking down the Nidus. It's not enough, right? I mean, it's a lot of bio. Another vessel going down. Yeah, Ling, Ultra Lurker, too strong. For a second, that was quite a bit of bio, and I thought he might actually break through. But there's the GG. Game 2 is Blockchain. This is a map we have not seen in a while. Nice to see that it has made its way into the ladder. And we're going to see a lot of interesting builds on this map. We already saw Nada go for a nuke rush. All types of builds you can use on this. And Sharp, even though he lost last game, he played pretty well. Next time he gets in that scenario where literally none of his drops work, I think he should have gone into a mech switch as opposed to a battlecruiser play. If even one of those drops had gotten through, I would have liked the battlecruisers a lot more. Oh, is this going to be 8 racks? No, it is just going to be a wall. Now, because we've seen 12 gas into Goliath play pretty recently, this could be for that. It doesn't have to be. This is Blockchain, which is kind of a difficult map to deal with if you're playing against the style that Larva went for on Fighting Spirit that we just saw. 3 base Zerg that basically get it for free is pretty difficult to deal with. And because of that, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Goliath timing. The Goliath timing, I've been using it a lot on the ladder. This build is so deadly, it's insane. And there is the 12 gas. So we're going to have to wait and see, is this going to be 1-1-1 or is this just going to be a Goliath timing? And the power of this build is in not only the upgrades, but how fast you're able to hit. It's before all of the power spikes of Zerg. With this variation, you're getting 1-1 at around 10-ish minutes, which hits before defilers, unless you're going for the fast hive that we just saw Larva go for. But Larva's going for what looked like an overpool into a hatchery. So his econ is already a little bit delayed. The chances of him getting up a hive that fast is basically 0. And Sharp, I don't know why he's cross-scouting versus Zerg, but he's going to get a first scout off, and he's going to see that the lings are coming. His wall is ling tight, so he's going to only have to build minimal defense. Oh, the SCV gets caught. And now he's in the dark, and unlike last game, he's not going to send out a second SCV. He's just going to deal with it for now. He doesn't know if it's 2 hatch or 3 hatch. So he's a little bit in the dark. And Larva, he has not seen the wall just yet. He doesn't have 100 gas. Now he sees the wall. Does he want to go into some type of fast Hydra play? Since Goliaths are the trend, a Hydra bust would be very deadly. Is that going to be a command center or 2-fact? Or starport? Starport! Okay, we're not going to see Goliath. This is going to be just standard 1-1-1 so far. We've seen players like Flash and 4GG go for a Vulture drop, but that was usually off of a 10-10-10 opener. The chances of that are probably pretty small. Behind this, Sharp is going for a command center. He is not going to go into some type of weird 2-port race off of 1 base. Lings almost catch those, or catch that Vulture. Now the Lings are kind of isolated and probably all going to go down. So a good catch so far. And one thing that Sharp is seeing is that there's no speed on the Lings just yet, which may be a tell of some sort to him. If I saw that there was no speed, I would probably be a little bit worried about potential Hydra play. And there is the Spire. Now, it is pretty crucial that Sharp gets some sort of intel with this Vulture. He's going to see that there's no Hydra Den at the entrance, which kind of leads you to believe that this is fast Spire. A lot of times Zerg players are putting their Hydras or Hydra Den at the front for a semi-wall. And as expected, not going to be a drop. It is a Wraith. And Larva is going to take mid left, so this is one of the powers of blockchain, allowing him to get a 3rd base pretty easily. Meanwhile, Science Facility coming up. Everything really standard so far. Going to get one of the Overlords caught. That's a nice find. And this should go down before the mutas come out. Wow. He does catch it before the Spire completes. Now, it's not a big loss because Larva was anticipating that. He's already got a bit of supply banked up. Wraith comes in, confirms that it is a 2 hatch. He still has not seen mid left, so he doesn't really know exactly what's going on, but he at least saw that it's a Spire. And I'm really liking Sharp's position a lot better than last game. Last game, I don't want to call it a blind counter, but it's a very difficult build to deal with when you're going for 5 racks. But this time he's in a much better position. He's got his academy going. It's almost done. He's going to be getting up those barracks pretty soon. Now, where did that factory go? I see it's lifted, and it's floating to the top side, which is a bit unusual. And with 1-1-1, you're banking up those tanks. So is this just going to be mass bio? Is it going to be an SK play with just a 1-1 opener? We may even see the nukes. I think the chances of nukes are actually pretty decent. Why else would you be floating your factory when going for 1-1-1 unless you were going for the SK style. There are the first couple barracks. He, of course, can land that factory, start building tanks on the high ground, but this is a bit unusual. I don't think I've ever seen 1-1-1 without any tanks. But meanwhile, third base is up for Larva. He's going to be able to start droning, and Larva is pretty committed to this lair play with the mutas because we don't see a Hydrogen anywhere. We don't see a Queen's Nest. And I just don't really know what mass muta is supposed to do versus vessels. Because that's what it is. It's mass mutilating into... Oh, there's a great irradiate, but an even better split. Zerg taking almost no damage. And the mutas are very well... or very healthy. Like, they can tank this bunker. Is he just going to go for it? He's just going to try and bust. One bunker is not that scary when the irradiates can't deal any damage. Depot goes down. That's a lot of mutas. But, oh, a perfect irradiate. Again, an equally perfect split. Larva really on top of it, but still, this is 11 mutas. The marine count is really not that high. Vessel count is getting higher and higher. Taking down both the turrets. And Sharp, is he just going to straight up die? All of the vessels are exposed too. He's got to be very careful. Those are very key to this build. Muta's just dealing so much damage. More turrets going down. But this is all in Zerg. He's got to make crippling damage with these mutas. Slowly there are... Oh, another beautiful irradiate. This time dealing tons of damage. All the mutas are going to fall. And that might just be the end. There's really no transition plan for Larva. This felt a bit stubborn. More mutas coming. He's going to try and focus down the vessels. He gets one, but they're getting close to having 75 energy again. He's going to get a second vessel, but the wall is still up. Lings are not able to get in. Is he really going to get all of the vessels? He almost got all of the vessels, but despite even getting all the vessels, I'm really not that worried for Sharp still. There's that last vessel, so close to having an irradiate. There we go. Barracks gets canceled. He's trying to pick out the right mutalisk. He doesn't want to irradiate a hurt one. There we go. There's the, oh, deadly irradiate. Getting 2 or 3 mutas there. Vulture snuck in somehow. Don't know how that happened, but it did manage to get through. I guess it took down that egg. And now he's going to see that this third base is up but hasn't been running. And he knows that really he just has to survive now. Still no buildings down for Zerg in the main or at the natural. No Hydrogen, no Queen's Nest. Now he's starting to transition, but this is too late. Larva did a good job getting rid of all the vessels, but now that the barracks have gotten up, now that we've gotten out a pretty sizable marine ball, I just don't know how Larva's really gonna deal with this. He's trying to get that hive. Probably gonna try and go into Guardians. Hydrogen just now starting. Yeah, if Sharp moves out now, it's gonna be a killing move. He's got 2 vessels. One of them having a irradiate, a beautiful irradiate right there. Oh, he's not able to split up all of his mutas. And 8 mutas versus what looks like probably 1.5 groups of Marine Medic. Gonna have a really tough time. And here comes Sharp. He's now started to get out onto the map. And this is just going to be a really slick timing for him. Muta's got to buy as much time as they can. But they're so weak. $75-50. That tells you all you need to know. And I just now remembered that that egg being open on the left side to the third base is going to allow Sharp to just waltz in. Larva's scrambling to get down these assimilators. If you can take down the assimilator... Oh, the Scourge! Almost get connections, but not... Oh, he's not going to take it down. Radiate dealing so much damage, and Sharp just barely able to hit. And he's going to win game 2 with a really nice timing. Game 3 is Power Bond. another new ladder map. I've never seen a Terran versus Zerg at the pro level on this map, so this should be really interesting. My go-to build on this map, if I get mid-left or bottom-middle, is the Goliath build. This build, as I was saying, is so deadly. And because you're able to wall in these two positions, it makes it even deadlier. This map is a really good map. There's so much money on here. It's kind of Rush Hour-esque. Rush Hour meets like Circuit Breakers in the sense of how much money there is. So we might have a really big slugfest, assuming it can get into the long game. Now we may see Larva go for what he went for on Fighting Spirit, because it is a 3-player map. If Larva can take the other main, it all of a sudden becomes very difficult for Sharp to secure as many bases as Larva potentially could. If we were to just take a quick look at the map and look at how many bases on the left side, there's about 7, and if Larva got directly over his base at the top and the right side, he would have 8. Now Sharp has not walled the entrance of his main, so far it does not look like we're going to have 12 gas. Nope, he is not going to go for 12 gas, which I am a little bit surprised, because any map that you can wall on with the Goliath build is just so deadly. Other maps that come to mind are Gladiator and Overwatch, which are all in the ladder map pool right now. And Larva is going to go for 2-hatch with an extremely fast gas. Everybody's been going for this type of 2-hatch play. I guess Modesty showed it in KSL, and he was really deadly with it. And he was really the only one to go for this type of super fast gas timing. But now after that, almost every single Zerg I play against on the ladder goes for something very similar to this. Now here comes that SCV. He's going to get in and see that gas has already been mining. But one of the hardest parts of facing this build is you don't know when Zerg exactly got their gas. They could have just got it now, which would be somewhat normal, around a 230 gas. But we saw that Larva got it around 2 minutes, and the drone has already knocked the SCV down to half health. And in response, Sharp's doing the standard response, 2 racks. He's got his command center coming up also. So this is exactly what you should do, but because the SCV's already had to leave so early, we may see Larva put down a fast Hydra Den. As I was saying, players like Zealot have really started to use that more often. So far, no Hydra Den. And I wasn't paying that close of attention to Larva's gas. I think he did get speed also. I love his Ling space or Ling displacement throughout the map. Try and check for potential SCV scouts. Try and see if there's any factory hidden anywhere. And no Hydra Den means we are just going to have the standard 2-hatch Muta. And Power Bond is a pretty okay map for dealing with 2-hatch Muta. All of the bases are pretty decent for placing turrets. Oh, that's a lot of Lings to be made. And he catches the SCV right at the bottom. How does he do it? Now, did Sharp see it? I'm not sure if he saw it or if he's just building a bunker regardless. He may have seen it because we see a second SCV coming, looking like he may want to put... Yeah, he's setting up a semi-wall. So good intel. And Larva's going to come in here, try and make something happen. But he's not going to get anything done with these Lings. At least he forced out a bunker, but that's a big commitment from him. Now Sharp should realize that this 2-hatch Muta is going to be... Well, I thought it was going to be a very committed 2-hatch Muta, but we see that Larva has 7 or 8 drones at his natural, so his econ is actually still going to be really good. I don't know how Zergs do it. They go for super fast gas like this. They build a lot of Lings, yet they still have enough drones to saturate the natural. Now, Lings are going to trade somewhat well, picking off a couple Marines. Engineering Bay just now coming up. Everything so far is by the book from Sharp. And Larva is going to take a third base now. He's got the money for it. Now 2 racks, unlike something like 5 racks, is not going to have that extra +1 weapon kick in. So the mutas are not going to be as afraid of fighting the army. Also, the unit count, of course, is going to be a little bit smaller. And getting a couple marine pickoffs with the Lings is actually quite a big deal. If the game ever snowballs in favor of Larva, it's almost impossible to recover facing Mutaling like this. So Sharp has got to be very careful. He's stimming, which is pretty costly. He's going to lose energy on all those medics. Here come the mutas. 1 turret is going to get picked off. Marine goes down. Now these Marines don't have range just yet, and Larva knows that. So he wants to engage the Marines as often as he can at this point in the game. There goes that third hatch. Another good pick off. Hasn't lost the muta. Ooh, almost gets another Marine. Every Marine, very, very important. Meanwhile, I see that a 3rd and 4th barracks have gone up. So Sharp is not going to go into fast tech. He is just going to try and steamroll Larva with just a lot of bio. Muta's doing a really good job to abuse this high ground on Power Bond. Engineering Bay is blinking. I noticed that the Academy isn't blinking. So I hope that Sharp did not accidentally forget range, because if he did, this game's already done. I'm looking at his gas. We're at 450, which is a little scary. He's not building a factory. I really think he may have missed range. No, he didn't miss range. Meanwhile, the Mutaball is getting high. This is why 2-hatch Mutaling is so hard to deal with. Oh, Larva's going to go for it. He's decided he's whittled it down just enough. Ling's soaking a lot of the shots. Marines are getting trampled. Now, he didn't lose as much as I thought. All the Lings go down, but Zerg only lost 2 mutas, so that's fine. Now, what does Larva want to do? Just like last game, he's continuing to just go into mass mutas. We don't see any drones at mid-right. Factory is about to finish for Sharp. So this 4 racks was the right call. If Larva had been playing something like Fast Lurkers, this may have been a bit of a misstep. More mutas. I see a building in the main of Zerg. Wish we could get a look to see if that is a hive, or a Queen's Nest, I mean, or if that's going to be Lurkers. +1 weapon. So it's more than likely that that is a Hydra Den now, as opposed to the Queen's Nest. If you're going to be rushing the Queen's Nest, you would more than likely be going for... Oh, that is a Queen's Nest. Usually if you're going to go for a fast Queen's Nest like this, it's to go into Guardians, but with +1 weapon, you're really not going into Guardians that often. Meanwhile, mutas are still dealing a lot of damage to these Marines. More and more Marines falling. +1 weapon really kicking in for the Zerg. Another Marine going down. Damn. Zerg has kept Terran in their base for so long. And remember, this was 4 racks. A lot of times, Terrans are just staying on 2 racks. So to be able to keep the Bio Ball in the base of Terran for this long, facing an excessive amount of Marines, is very impressive. The Hive has started. The Hydra Den is also up. Lurkers will be coming into play within the next minute or so. But Sharp does have his starports probably completed at this point. Yep, starports are done. He's got 5 racks. He's going to have a science facility coming up pretty soon. Just so deadly with the mutas. 9, 10, 11 mutas, keeping Terran back for so long. But now Sharp has decided that he's got enough bio, and Larva didn't see the army move out. Now he knows that, Where's your army? And he's going to try and find it, but that's a lot of bio. Almost loses a Muta for free right there. Great Muta Micro abusing those ledge. God. Zerg is so annoying to deal with when they can control Mutas like this. There's no defense for Zerg other than these Mutas. And he's just buying so much time. I mean, look, it was 2 Hydras, not even in Lurker form. It's painful. It's painful to watch. 9 Mutas wiped out this entire ball, which I thought was impossible to do. He even gets a couple medics, which are very important, picks off another medics, and now the Lurkers are going to be set up, and Larva's safe. His natural safe, his third base is safe. He's going to have his Defilers coming out pretty soon. The first vessels are out, though. So Irradiates are going to be pretty dangerous. But the Bio Ball is so small now. I don't know. We are bleeding a bit. Good micro so far. Sharp has got a lot of units. He's been producing very well. He's on 5-6 racks right now. More Mutas coming out. And Larva really does not want to be building Mutas at this point in the game. So the pressure from Terran has been great so far, forcing out a lot of resources that Zerg does not want to use. Now, where did those Lurkers go? Well, this might actually be a killing move. 2 Irradiates are going to eliminate both the Lurkers. There's a decent amount of bio. Oh, they're right up against the ledge, and Mutas catch them. That was a critical move, because that would have been almost 2 groups of Marine Medic just easily plowing through the natural. Look at the natural. There's no defense. We don't see any red dots on the map. An amazing save from Larva, but he's not out of the woodworks just yet. He needs to get something. 2 Lurkers set up, so he is going to be fine, but that's +1 weapon, +1 armor. Marines are going to be able to jump on those Lurkers if the Muta Ball gets dwindled down. He is going to go for it. I think he's got to go for it. He is just going to wait for more vessels. That's an Irradiate that just went off. Another Irradiate onto the Mutas. Not a good split. Takes a lot of damage. Is it enough bio? I love the Lurker. Oh, he's catching Lurkers on the side. Mutas coming in from the back. But that's a lot of bio, and they're heavily upgraded. Sharp might do it. I think he did do it. Wow, I really thought that Larva was going to take this game. And Sharp, with insane macro, ends up taking it, and he's got a 2-1 lead. Game 4 Overwatch. Really impressed with Sharp's macro last game. Really sick. I thought for sure Larva was going to win. He killed so many Marines with those Mutas, but the production was just really on point. So surprisingly, Sharp is up 2-1. I personally think that his Terran versus Zerg is his worst matchup. I really like Sharp in Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Terran. So for him to be up versus Larva is really impressive. Now our next map is Overwatch. And again, we've got a map where we can wall. So there is the potential for some 1-1-1. There we go. We are going to wall this time. Now, this map, the wall doesn't necessarily mean that we're teching. And we see a fast scout from Larva. So, Overwatch is one of those maps where you wall off, you go and scout quickly, and if you see a hatchery, you go for a command center. If you don't see a hatchery, you know you're getting Ling rushed. You put down your barracks, you get that depot up, and even though you're not really going to have many units or any Marines to stop the Lings at first, you can just repair both those buildings forever. And that's exactly what Larva's looking for. He wanted to see if this is going to be a command center. And Sharp is going for a fast command center because there's no racks and there's no gas. So more than likely, Larva's just going to go for triple hatch before pool. Probably take top middle. But Larva's drone is so annoying that he may just win the game with this drone because it's going to delay this command center for so long. He may even get an SCV kill. The SCV is already extremely low. It's within 3 hits. Make that 2. Make that 1. There it goes. And just like that, it's dead. And now he can heal doing the extractor trick. And we see in his base, no spawning pool. So this is going to be a third hatch. Mid left seems to be the base of choice. And with a full HP drone, he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage to this SCV. So annoying. He's just going to do it again. Wow, 1 health. And now he's got these SCVs in his sight. Just ridiculous. Okay, bottom left is going to be the base. Okay, this is why you need to just go straight barracks versus somebody like Larva. He got his command center, but look how far along the command center is in comparison to the racks. It's like even almost. What did that say? Like 1,000, and this racks is at maybe 700. So sure, the command center is slightly faster than the barracks, but we already lost an SCV. We've had to pull. We saw 5 SCVs down here. Did we just lag out? Oh, wow, massive glitch. But 5 SCVs pulled off. And he has a kill. It's oh, I just noticed that. The drone had no registered kills on it. I guess you lose kills when you build an extractor and cancel it. That's something I never knew. Not that it matters at all, but these drones, man, they hate SCV. He's gonna kill it. He's actually gonna kill a second SCV. Let's watch that yellow. Oh, he almost got it. Now, Sharp is looking around for the third base. He doesn't know that it's bottom left. Now, Sharp did go for a relatively fast gas after his command center. This is most likely going to be 2 Racks Academy. I didn't get to see his main. This may just be eBay Rush. Going to Fast +1 also. Okay, it is eBay Rush with a Fast Academy. So 1 Racks, Fast Academy, Fast eBay. Probably going to move out with maybe like 6 or 7 Marines. Even just 1 medic maybe. Put some pressure on to Larva. Nice positioning of that SCV. It's going to be saved for now. Or it's not. Larva just hold positions at top right. Meanwhile, Larva, I assume, has a lair somewhere. Didn't see it just yet. But this is going to be another, probably 5 racks from Sharp, even though he's got a relatively fast academy. We see Flash do this sometimes, where when he has an opener that allows him to cut Marines in the beginning, he'll get both of those techs and then delay the 5 racks for just a little bit. And Larva is building a lot of lings. He knows that some type of timing is coming and he wants to be ready. There's the 3rd and 4th barracks, and here we go. 6 Marines, 1 Firebat, and a medic. Instantly lands that racks. Very cognizant that there could be a counterattack. And he's got to be careful because these Marines shouldn't have stim, and this is a pretty decent sized chunk of lings. He's trying to size them up, find them at I think this is going to be it. Yeah, it's go time now. Stims onto that Overlord. Firebat's in an amazing position, but ends up getting wiped out, and Larva still has hidden bottom left. But that army got cleaned up very easily. There was a scan. Sharp sees that it is a Spire. Now bottom left, I think, has a sunken colony positioned. But there may be hidden tech somewhere that we haven't seen because we haven't gotten a glimpse to bottom left. And there is the 5th barracks. Very fast factory follow-up also. And this is just something that Overwatch allows you to do. You can go for the 5 racks while also powering extremely hard at the same time. Drone Man at bottom left. He's got great saturation. Also great... Oh, Burrow! What? So we've got some burrow action and a fast evolution chamber. Again, this is going to be crazy Zerg, and this is going to be much scarier than Fighting Spirit because the evolution chamber looks a little bit faster. The third base has been up and running for much longer. But the Fighting Spirit game, it looked pretty good from Sharp. Other than the drops really not doing much damage, he played really well with the bio. I think the BCs was also a mistake, but we may see a repeat of Fighting Spirit. There are the mutas. Mutas this time as opposed to lurkers, but I don't expect him to be committed to mutas. Probably just 9 to 11 mutas. Make sure that he doesn't get his bottom left base busted. And I don't think Sharp actually scanned the evolution chamber, so he's not sure exactly what's coming. Birdling at the bridge. This is why I love Burrow. You just put random burrowed lings all over the map and it gives you free vision. He has no idea that there are lings just sitting there. And burrowed lings, if you have a clump of units just sitting over top of you, they can shred those units extremely fast. So if Sharp puts his rally point right there and isn't paying attention, a whole bio ball might go goodbye real quick. Now we did see the hive morphing. Starport should be pretty close to finishing. Sharp's really nailing his build. He's going to have vessels extremely fast, which is great versus the fast Ultralisk. He's trying to debate these Marines on top of him. There he goes! He picks off only a couple so far. There's too many Marines, but that was a nice catch. Wow, he actually got more than I thought. Maybe 7 Marines or so. A little overstep there going for the medics, but clever move. Sharp obviously not expecting it. There's the Defiler Mound, but this is definitely going to be Ultraman pretty soon. And just like last game, that's probably going to be a dropship coming out. But bottom left is already tight. Overwatch, unlike Fighting Spirit, is going to be way less surface area. It's going to be harder to drop. Ling gets popped, so no more vision on the bridge. Oh, is he stemming across the map? He's trying to just bust him. There's no sunkens. It's only 7 mutas. And that is a lot of bio. And because he rushed the eBay, he's going to have good upgrades. He's got +1. Nidus is not done yet. If he goes, he might be able to just win it. Go, dude, go! He's too late. The lurkers are going to pop out just in time. Oh, is he going to try and go for it? No. So, very lucky for Larva to actually survive there. Really could have gotten his nat busted in a missed opportunity for Sharp. But he's got an SCV set up at bottom middle. He is going to build a command center there, but pretty dangerous spot with the Nidus already at bottom left. Going to be able to reinforce catch onto the mutas. But Larva is one of the few Zergs that can actually use his Nidus like to the full potential. I see him just come in from all types of angles, and he's able to do that because he can use the Nidus so well. So bottom middle, really got to be careful about taking that base. +1 armor on the Overlords. We did spot it this time. Hopefully Sharp saw it. If he did, he should not go into battle cruisers. Scourge are not going to get one-shotted. A nice catch onto this bio ball. Not sure if he got any kills, but at least forces some APM of Sharp to be used on these units as opposed to his macro. Damn. Another macro hatch coming down. We've got 5 hatch for Larva. He's got +1 armor on his lings already. Soon to be +2 armor. And Terran is at 1-1. And Sharp is exploding now because he's taking mid right. And this is setting up to be a mech switch game based on how fast he's expanding. I like that this time we are getting the add-on to our factory. If we had gone into battle cruisers, that definitely would have been a big blunder. Well, maybe not factories, because we see some more blocks being put down right next to the barracks That might be just some more barracks. Go up to 7 or 8. Meanwhile, Larva content with just sitting with defilers and lurkers. And I love how he uses that Nidus to save the defiler. He'll pop out when he needs to. A good irradiate right there. Catches one of the lurkers. I wish Sharp had even just one fire bat. He's got +2 weapon on his Marines again. Very quick. I want to get a look into the main of Sharp. Is this still bio or have we switched? We don't see any floating racks just yet, but this still could be a switch. It'd be a bit dangerous since Zerg is rushing armor so fast. Now Swarm has receded, and we're going to see that defiler pop out. Oh, there it is. And denied. Now this is the problem I have. Oh no, he's going battle cruisers again. Well, I didn't see an armory anywhere. Is there an armory anywhere? No, man. No armory. And the game just isn't crazy. I really can't imagine this working. And the fact that Zerg already has +1 armor, this again feels like another misstep. Ling's trying to deny mid-right. Sharp has no clue that they're over there. He's going to catch this bunker. Going to probably force a lift. Yep, there's the lift. Now the defilers, I don't see them. But that doesn't mean that they aren't sharking around in that Nidus. Another burrow. Now did Sharp notice that it was a burrow? Here he goes. He's going to try and bust. But there's that defiler again. We didn't see him irradiate all the lurkers and defilers, so he's not going to be able to get through. And just like last game, Sharp has a good standing army. It's just he can't get much done. Defiler trying to get a plague that's not the greatest. More burrowed link. Such a clever move. I love it. There's the BCs. I hope we can see an armory somewhere, because we need to get upgrades if we're going to go for BCs. Even just +1 weapon is like, and now he spots the broodlings. So they're just going to get up and run. Reposition elsewhere. There's the Ultralisk Cavern. And we are approaching that 17-minute mark. Ultra's already out at 14 minutes. If Zerg has Ultras out before 17 minutes, you know Zerg is doing really well. +4 armor already. And that's going to be before +3 kicks in. So really not an upgrade advantage for the Terran, which is not good. And now Larva is going to take top middle. And that's going to be 4 base Zerg versus 4 base Terran, which isn't bad. But we're going BCs. Goodbye BC. One of the most expensive units in the game, just taken down immediately, almost for free. Uh-oh, this could be an eraser. Here we go, or just maybe some mass irradiates. Okay, we do have vultures coming out with mines. I like that. A couple of radiates getting those lurkers. And I'm just going to back off for now. So many ultras coming out. Ling, ultra, defiler, and even just one lurker mixed in is such a deadly comp. And mid-right's going to go down. Unless Sharp is paying really good attention and has vessels over there, this base is dead. Meanwhile, Task Force went to top middle. It's getting cleaned up. Larva all over the place. So is Sharp. And bottom left looks like it might get busted. Remember, there was a bunch of irradiates that went down. Not many lurkers, but not that much bio. Scourge even going to find no vessel kill. But it's looking very similar to Fighting Spirit, where the game's starting to get crazy. But Larva just has so many units. He has so much econ. But no more lurkers. Ultra went down. Nidus, what a building. Able to reinforce so quickly, but I didn't see a single defiler. This is Larva or Sharp's opportunity to bust in. Even an eraser going down. Ultra's trying to attack the front. But they get shut down by just a handful of Marines, surprisingly. And bottom left, has it been broken? He's got to get up the ramp, though. One Ultra trying to save the day. Ling's coming through the back. But Lings are not enough. This irradiate on the vessels are dealing so much damage. Larva is scrambling to get units through. Couple ultras come in. There's the Dark Swarm that we've been waiting for. It will manage to save the day for now. But very close to getting his base busted. Oh no, all those vessels are plagued. 4 vessels go down. Top middle, battlecruiser went down also. So Larva, sure, he's gotten bottom left denied for a little bit now. But he does have a backup pace. But Sharp's not done, sending more units across the map. More units to top middle. Now this is the type of game where I actually do like battlecruisers. Because we've got action going all over the map. But now the battlecruisers are gone. We still don't think that they have +1 weapon. So many Scourge being built. Anticipating that BC switch. And Sharp has found an opening at top middle. There's no Nidus there. And while he's attacking top middle, he's going to attack bottom left. Dark Swarm is ready. Picks off that hatchery. Now he needs to run. There's no medics in that group, so that's going to be a lot of Marines just going down. But Sharp still has a 25 supply lead. He's got good upgrades. I don't know about this stem. But the main should be mined out pretty soon, and his natural should be mined out. He needs to get another base. Top or mid right is still floating in the air. He just now landed it, but Larva's bottom left base is almost mined out also. So he's kind of on a clock. He needs to get top middle. This is surprisingly a much closer game than I thought. I thought Larva's just going to run away with it. Don't lose these vessels! No! Maybe 2 or 3 went down there. But Sharp with a big bank, he'll be able to replenish those vessels pretty easily. But, oh no, the command center, he's floating it to the mineral only. I guess he's decided that that's an easier base to defend, which it is. But we don't have tanks, we don't have vultures really. He still wants to attack bottom left. I honestly think that bottom left is so close to being mined out, he should just stop. This is almost an unimportant base, but he's going to D-Matrix and F-Bat. Oh, but he needs another one, and he's not going to be able to push through. Ultras and Lings coming from the back. Wow. Going to clean up this army very easily. And again, this just looks like Sharp running out of steam. The multitask was really good. But again, we missed some macro cycles. For those of you that were looking at the minerals this whole time, we were approaching 1,600 minerals. Now we're closer to what we should be at, only 500 minerals. And now bottom middle is under threat of getting broken. A lot of irradiates. Still no Dark Swarm just yet. There we go. Sharp is going to defend for now. 1 vessel goes down. Oh, he's going to lose so much. Irradiated ultras. Sure, they're going to die eventually, but they're cleaning up all of the bio that are outside of those bunkers. And we've got almost even supply. And Sharp is mining that mineral only. But that's such an exposed base. He needs to have tanks on the high ground or something. It's going to be so hard to constantly defend that base. Action all over the place. It doesn't really look like Larva has that much, but the ultras are just so strong. Oh my, irradiated ultras on hold position on the SCVs. They're all gonna go down. Oh no, they're not. But a bunch of them dead. Several of them severely damaged. Top middle has started to get mined. He just has so much, man. It's just endless Ling ultra. Third base has still been denied. The Lings, they're almost free at this point. Oh, those mines. Oh, that's painful. Another huge mine hit. But the ultras are cleaning up these SCVs, and Sharp is just falling apart. His supply is plummeting. A couple battle cruisers at top middle. And if we look at the gas, Larva is gas starved. He may not actually be able to deal with these BCs. More ultras flooding into the third base. Gonna shut this down again. And Sharp is not going to be mining. But how will Larva be able to deal with these BCs? He's going to clean up all of these drones. And look at the main and natural and third base of Larva. He's essentially mined out at all these bases. Oh, but there's a defiler in that army. Marines are great, but unless they can hit units under Dark Swarm, they're pretty much useless. And here we go. If he can get the catch-up plus a plague, he just barely missed the catch-up. But Dark Swarm, allowing these things and ultras to push in. Do any of these vessels have a radiate, though? Defiler goes down, and Sharp is going to hold for now. A really chaotic game. Scourge have been built, going up to top middle. Still 3 battlecruisers alive. Takes out those Scourge, and I don't believe it. Is Sharp really going to win a base trade? Sharp supply is at 70. The BCs are heroic. But Larva can't get into the base. He doesn't know about top right. Of course, Sharp is barely mining there. 1 SCV. But mass vessels with BCs are going to be very deadly. Larva, he actually needs to just long distance mine something. Scourge are so cheap. All he really needs to do is buy time for gas. And these ultras are just going to get irradiated. And this is going to allow Sharp to get bottom middle set up. He still has a sizable bio count. So the ultras really just melt. BCs are sharking around still, finding their next kill. Top right still has not been scouted. BCs intercepting 12 and 18 kills. Wow, see you. Yamato just destroyed those ultras. Is Sharp going to go up 3-1? What a crazy game. Oh no. Oh no. Old Larva has found the hole. There's no defense in the main. And with no defense in the main, he's just going to flood Lings and ultras. And battlecruisers are so slow that they're not able to help. Scourge are trying to find those battlecruisers. And Larva may have done it. Vessels are trying to do work, but Sharp just doesn't have any money. If he could have even built 1 round of units, he may have been able to hold, but he's not able to. Scourge actually suicided onto those vessels. Larva did it. I can't believe it. Bottom left has gotten taken out, but it's left his third base open, and these Lings are just going to clean up everything. And with no mining, Larva's going to end up taking it and even up the series 2-2, but what a crazy... Actually, is this hatchery going to go down? What is going on? Both players not mining, basically. Hatchery went down. There's still a lot of SCVs for Sharp, but he needs to get them to top right. But at the same time, he can't show top right. If he shows it, it's going to get shut down. Marines are trying to be the heroes. Okay, I mean, that's a decent chunk of bio, but he needs to be very careful. If he can escort the bio ball with the BCs, Sharp can actually win this. We've got lifted command center, lifted buildings. Fight on the bridge. Fight on the bridge. You'll trade so well. That's exactly what he's doing. Battle cruisers can kill everything. Even if there are sunkens, he can just shoot it with the BCs. Still, Larva's so gas starved. Now he's depleted at all of his extractors that he can't really... Oh, he's got a decent amount of Scourge now. But he's got to find connections onto these BCs. The BCs are really what's saving the... Here we go. It all comes down to this. Do the BCs die to the Scourge? He's focus firing the Scourge. 1 BC remains. Bio ball on the ramp at a perfect position. This hatchery's going to get denied again. Top right has still not been found. SCV's tried to transfer up there. But Larva's not mining. He can't build anything, really. He's gas. He has no gas. 28 kills. And there we go. Finally, we see the answer. He built, or he got weapon damage. And that's how he's killing all these Scourge so well, because he's able to bypass that armor upgrade. And Sharp, only 23 supply, but he's got vessels. He's got a radiate. He's got 1 BC. He's got a bunker. He's trying to float his commands. I love how he's floating the command center up there and building a bunker, because that's going to make Larva think that there's no command center out on the map. And as long as top right can just mine for free, that's going to allow, you know, Sharp eventually to build like more vessels, more Marines, whatever, as soon as he can actually land something. Finally, Larva finds top right. Really not a lot of mining. Defensive matrix BC. I don't know. Here come a Scourge. Oh, no! My gosh, one hit! One hit! I think he's done it now. He had to keep this BC alive, and now it's gone, and there's not anything left. Too many Lings. This is going to seal the deal. He needs to stim, and he does, but Ling DPS too high. Wow. I can't believe this. Larva ends up taking the game, but that was one of the closest games I've ever seen from any of the End of the World matches. Gladiator is our next map, and Sharp is really bringing it to Larva. I'm really surprised that this is as close as it is. For sure, I thought if Larva can get to the late game, it's just going to be him running him over, but certainly not the case. Sharp is keeping up pretty well. And this is one of my favorite maps in the ladder pool. Sure, you can get cheesed a lot on this map. Playing versus something like Proxy Gates is quite annoying. 9 pool speed is quite annoying with the inverted ramp. But, depending on position, you can wall. And Sharp has a good position at bottom left. He does have the opportunity to wall. And will Larva get aggressive? I am a little surprised that we haven't seen Larva go for a 9 pool or even a 4 pool just yet in this series. And this time Sharp's the one that's going to get aggressive. This is going to be an 8 Rax. And based on this Rax positioning, this is probably going to be a 1-1-1 follow-up. But Larva, he suspects something this game. He's going to scout extremely fast, and he's going to scout Sharp first. So already, Sharp not in a good position. We already saw the drone get a kill on the last map, and now, with such a fast scout, he's going to be able to respond with a 12 pool and shut this down extremely easily. That's exactly what we see. And now Sharp has to respect the power of this drone. He's pulling another SCV. That SCV's already below half health. Not able to get it this time, at least not just yet. But after going for an 8 Rax and having 3 SCVs pulled, Econ is a bit crippled. So, this drone, I wish I could do this. It's just so crazy how much damage he gets done. Now, in Sharp's main, I'm looking very intently at that gas. We're at 15 supply, and there's no gas. I am a little surprised. It is not going to be 1-1-1. We are just going to transition into a standard build. Now Sharp sees that the hatch is a bit delayed. He knows that this is going to be a 12 pool. I really don't expect this bunker rush really to do much damage. SCVs, are they just glitching? It's just on hold position. One goes down, and second one almost went down. And sure, he lost a drone, but he's going to have Lings popping out pretty soon. And a lot of times when you're Zerg trying to defend an 8 Rax, you're pulling almost all your drones at this point. So that would be maybe 1 or 2 more. So he shut down the 8 Rax, took really no damage, and he didn't have to pull as much as usual. Larva's in a amazing position. Now behind this, because he's got the wall, he's able to only build minimal defense. And I like how Sharp snuck those 2 Marines. Now he also has only shown 2 Marines, so it looks like these are the Marines that got back. The depot does die. Didn't look like a cancel, but really good SCV control. The bunker is still up though at the natural decay. He does cancel it finally. But that at least gave Sharp vision to see that more Lings were produced, and now he knows that 2 Lings were made. They may just be waiting to intercept. Does Larva know that Marines are out on the map? He's sending a Ling out into the middle like he expects there to be something. This is probably scouting for proxy, like I said. This does look like a 1-1-1 build, except now Sharp has 5 Marines, which is a bit unusual. SCV goes down. But the scouting is great. Larva making sure that no shenanigans catch him off guard. But those 2 Marines are going to sneak by. And the 2 Lings that were pretty genius to scout for the proxy factory are now actually going to backfire. And these Marines actually get a kill. Might even get a second kill. The drone is... No, they're not going to get the second kill. But a nice pick off there. Behind this, Sharp has gone into a command center. And you see Larva is respecting still the fact that this could be factory play. He's putting down a fast sunken. Also, since that barracks continues to blink and we don't have vision of the natural, this even could be a 2 racks off of 1 base. So really smart move to make sure that nothing really catches Larva off guard. We see it is normal play and second racks going down. This is going to be a somewhat fast 2 racks play relative to the game. And behind this Larva, again, going to go for mutas. We don't see the Hydra Den, not going to be any lurkers. And Gladiator is one of those maps where if you can get good positioning with your lurkers, it's extremely punishing. We already saw him go for hold position lurkers on Fighting Spirit. I am a little surprised that he doesn't want to go for it this time. There are also so many places on Gladiator where you can take a third base that lurkers are really just a fantastic opener. You don't necessarily have to take another main. You could take mid-right in this scenario. He could even take bottom-middle right next to Sharp, pull an LZ Gamer base at mid-left, and then hold position on these little cliffs is just going to make it so difficult to ever feel safe moving over top of them. But we do see the Spire has started. First medic has come out, and we already have a move out. 6-minute move out. Pretty quick for an 8 racks. And Larva is scrambling to get up a couple more sunkens. There's only 1 so far. He should be able to get these up in time. And Sharp not being greedy, he's not going to stem across the map for it. Well, he may go for it now, seeing only 2. Is he going to go? He does go. He's going to pop this first sunken. Second sunken. He's going to focus the one that's morphing. And that's going to allow... Look at it, 100 health. Now he can one-shot it. There it goes. Is this game just done? Drones are trying to drill on top of these Marines. Really nice control there. Drilling to the natural of Sharp to get the angle. Then back to the mineral only. Fantastic. And Larva does hold, but he lost so many drones. Econ is really crippled now. Forced out Lings. Couple more sunken. Sharp is in a fantastic position. Thought he was kind of doomed after the failed 8 racks. But this is one of the intricacies of Gladiator. Depending on spawns, 2 racks can hit very quickly. And in response, Larva has built a lot of Lings, but they're not going to do anything because we've got that wall. So really, this is Sharp's game to lose at this point unless something catastrophic happens with these mutas. Sharp is primed to take the lead in the series again, go up 3-2. He's got his 3rd and 4th racks coming up. Turrets are going to be perfectly timed. Lings to catch a medic, which is honestly a pretty big catch. But really, he's got to get something done with these mutas, and he's decided that he actually has to drone up. So that's going to delay the muta harassment even longer. We already saw how well Sharp has been playing all day long, rushing his factory and getting up those upgrades, that if you're going to give Sharp any more time to breathe, that's going to be a big mistake. 4 racks already up and running. I wonder how much longer it will take for him to get his +1 weapon. But based on how well Sharp was macroing on Power Bond, Larva's got to be very careful to not let this army get across the map just like he did on that map. There are a lot of ledges on Gladiator that he can use to try and whittle down the army, delay it. But the spawns are so close, the rush distance is going to be very fast. Here comes Sharp again. And the mutas are just sitting here. I'm not sure exactly what he's waiting for. He needs to do something. Is he hiding them, trying to catch Sharp off guard, make him think that the mutas are elsewhere on the map? Not too sure what these mutas are exactly supposed to do. A lot of times when Terrans know that the mutas are away from the sunkens, that's when they pounce. So this might be a pretty genius move to try and just hide them on the outskirts, wait for Sharp to come in. You know he's going to come in. But Sharp not falling for the bait, almost takes out a muta even. Now we are seeing that patented Mutamicro, but that's a lot of bio, and we're going to sync up the Lings and the Marines, and the Mutas, but there's too many Marines shelling down these Mutas. 3 have already gone down, flying into turrets non-stop. Really immaculate defense from Sharp, and now with the Mutas highly bruised, he's thinking about putting on some more pressure. Oh, he's stemming across the map. That's a mistake, I think. All of those Marines are highly damaged. And that is a lot of Mutas. I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity for Larva to try and pounce there, but he is just going to wait for the stem to wear off. He's going to pick off this army. That is a nice catch. Getting reinforcing units. Sharp, a little bit of a blunder there. And now, what is this? 2 groups of Marines? Yeah, he just jumps on top of the Marines with the Mutas, and they all go down. Sharp throwing a bit. He did kill maybe 6 or so Mutas, but that was a big loss. But does it matter? We didn't see a Hydra Den, I don't think, just yet in Larva's main. He is trying to take top right, and we see a tank, more bio coming out. Sharp really nailing his build. Other than the misstep right there, this is just perfect. Muta's dealing a lot of damage, +1 weapon on them. Gonna take out the turret. So he does keep Sharp back in his base for now, but we saw that the starport was done. Vessels will be coming out very soon. And with no Hydra Den, no Queen's Nest, it's going to be very hard to stop this incoming tank push. Depot really doesn't matter to Sharp. It's just kind of an annoyance at this point. He's not supply blocked. Damn, Muse are doing a lot of damage. The bio ball is really small at this point. He's got to be careful to not keep losing all these Marines. He's even going to take out turrets. And now Mass Muta and Mass Ling are setting outside the front of his base. Is Larva really going to recover? There's really not that much bio. The vessel is waiting to irradiate, but he doesn't have the energy just yet. 10 more seconds. Marine after Marine is falling. And now he's on top of the vessel. If he goes right now, he could get it. You got to get it. It's so close, but he's decided he just wants to kill the Marines. I guess if you kill the Marines, then you can just attack through the front. Oh. And irradiate, but doesn't get. Oh, he's just going to sit on top of the production. Larva, he's doing it. He's on top of everything. That's a lot of Mutas, too. It's 9 Mutas. Some of them are highly damaged. But without Marines coming through these racks, how's he ever going to deal with the Muta? Muta picks off a tank. The vessels are still alive, desperately trying to get up some turrets. Marines are just move commanding. It may just barely be enough for Sharp to hold. He's got a complete wall at his entrance. Don't know if there's anything in the bunker, though. Now Mutas are suiciding on the turrets. He's not paying attention. And then it looks like Sharp is going to hold because the entrance is ling tight. He's not able to get in, but a really nice comeback from Larva, splitting that Muta off very nicely. Unfortunately for him, he's continuing to all in. If he was droning behind this, I think it would be in an amazing position. Oh, now we're definitely overextending, bleeding off all of those Mutas. All of them were highly damaged, and now he loses the majority of his army. And one thing Sharp kept alive was all of his tanks and all of his vessels. Or at least all of his vessels. I think his tanks got taken down. And with the vessels still alive, he should still be able to go for a push. He's going to scan, and he sees that the Hydra Den just now finished. He knows that Larva was all in. He just has to get a consolidated army, which is what he has right now. And now he's looking to put on a killing move. He's got, what is this, 1.5 groups of bio. He's got 5 barracks. And there's only 6 or so Mutas, a handful of Lings. It's going to be extremely difficult to stop. Here he comes, 3 vessels. He can just irradiate everything. 2 irradiates available. Really, that's all he needs. He'll be able to shred through these Mutas like butter. Now, Larva is sharking around. A Vulture goes to top right. That's going to be annoying. Oh, there's a perfect irradiate. Muta's coming from the back. Defensive Matrix onto that Marine. And D-Matrix is going to be phenomenal. No way to kill this bio ball now. And Sharp is going to push in. There's no answer. GG. Bloody Ridge is game 6. a map that we have not seen yet. It is not a ladder map. I personally have not played it, but I have seen a lot of Flash games. The map looks pretty cool. I think it is a bit cancerous, Terran versus Protoss, but other than that, Terran versus Zerg should be fine. And Sharp is up 3-2 in the series. Really looked like he was in a pretty bad position after the initial 8 racks, yet still able to recover. Now, what is Larva going to go for? He's already played standard. He's already denied the 8 racks. He should have been feeling pretty confident after stopping the 8 racks. So to lose that game, he may feel a little tilted. Hopefully it doesn't affect him. Now we do have Sharp at bottom left, which is an ideal spawn. He'll be able to wall the entrance. We are just going to wait to see if Larva is going to go for a 12 pull, which is what we've been seeing quite often. This time he is going to just scout first. Something to notice is that Larva also didn't go for an extractor trick. I wonder why sometimes the Zerg players go for the extractor trick and sometimes they don't. He is just going to scout for an 8 racks. And we see that Sharp is not playing anything unusual. And we do have gas. So this, oh, what? A hidden hatchery. And this is so dangerous. So exposed. I don't know the reasoning for this. This is very weird. Now, if Larva can get away with a 3rd hatch at the entrance, which is what he's doing, he's going to be in an amazing position. He's going to have super econ. But this is a 2-player map. I find this so surprising that he's going to go for 3 hatch before pool on a 2-player map where it's likely he's going to get scouted. He may have a read on Sharp that Sharp likes to go for 12 gas. You have to remember that these players do play versus each other a lot online, so there could be some mind games going on. And Sharp's going to get in here and see the bad news that he has a really bad opener for what Larva is going for. Oh, this is cute. Drone blocking the entrance. He sees that the hatchery is delayed. This looks like a 12 pool into gas with the delayed hatchery, but we see that this is 3 hatch. So how is Sharp going to react to this? He's probably going to react with going for an extremely fast armory, not try and go for... Oh, is that SCV going to die again? Oh, if he gets up that ramp, he's going to see it. Larva not able to deny it, but what can he do? Now he's lucky to see this. He's not going to respond with fast armory now. He will be fine. SCV does go down. Now, will he go into 1-1-1? He is just going to expand as normal. There is the factory. And we saw that he took completely off of gas. And this, so far, looks like the Goliath build. This will be the first time all series that we may see some Goliath play. In Flash's variation of the Goliath build, you pull off of gas completely. Now, Marine's going to come in here, try and get something done. May actually get a kill. Nope, Lings are going to save the day, and Vulture's going to go to the natural. And the natural is pretty wide. He may be able to sneak into the main. We do see a second building went down for Sharp. We don't know what it was just yet. That is a second factory. So this is going to be Vulture Goliath. Vulture does manage to get... Oh, is he going to get into the main? Amazing control with the Ling and drones, but it does manage to get in, and this is going to hurt. One Vulture can micro forever. Already takes down 3 Lings, couple drones, another Ling going down. Can he catch it? It's at 1 hit. He doesn't get it just yet, and this is starting to unravel. Larva with basically as good of an opener as you can get, and all of it just going down the drain. And what does he want to do now? He's also gotten scouted. Sharp sees that there's no lair. He saw that there was no lair at the natural. We're not mining gas, which should be another tell. Larva probably all-inning off of this. Speed has kicked in. More vultures coming in. Now that might be a bit of a misstep facing these speedlings. He's going to try and make it work though. They basically get caught immediately, and Sharp needs to get a bunker or something. Goliaths he's just continuing to build vultures. There's no add-on. He is respecting the fact that Larva is probably going to be aggressive, and here he comes. Tons of lings. Still not mining gas for Larva. Still haven't seen any more gas being spent, so no hydrogen being put anywhere. And if Sharp just walls, he's fine. That's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get his barracks down. If he gets the barracks down, this game is done. But here come those lings. Larva knows that. There is a tiny gap, and Larva's able to get through, and it's going to be so hard to micro these vultures. The entrance is so choked up. The barracks still has not landed. The vultures are able to deal with the lings. Oh, no, they're not able to deal with it. They're just flooding in. And Sharp, he's in trouble now. Massling catches that last vulture, and we saw that Larva has spent 50 gas. That means that this is a hydrogen somewhere. More lings continue to pour in, and now the Rax has landed, so the wall is up. As long as Sharp doesn't lose a bunch of SCVs to these lings, he's actually still in an okay position. Oh, the depots aren't done, and they're going to get blasted down. Vulture and Goliath are still dealing with these lings, so they can't deal with the lings at the front. The depots are up, but they go down. Oh, Sharp falling apart. First it was Larva falling apart, and now it's Sharp falling apart. The lings have just done way too much damage, killing so many SCVs. But Larva is spending a lot to do this. His drone count is really lacking. Supplies are surprisingly 25 to 25. Oh, we can't lose that Goliath. Cannot lose that Goliath. Goliath is so strong. You can't lose it. It goes down. More lings. Was that a Hydra? I think that was a Hydra that just popped out and started running across the map. And with the Hydras coming into play, Ling Hydra versus Vulture Goliath going to be very difficult to deal with. And now Sharp has lifted his command center. So really, Larva doesn't even have to continue attacking at this point. He's going to have 3 base. His econ would be going... It would be ridiculous. But instead, he is going to just try and catch these units. He baited all the vultures out, and here he comes. Catches 2 for free. This might just be it. There's so many lings. A good angle? No, still not a good angle. The lings are able to get in, and now with Hydras coming out, it's probably just a matter of time. Oh, you cannot lose this Goliath. Goliath is really all your damage for these Hydras. Can't lose it. 5 health. He manages to save it. And that is a mandatory save for him. Otherwise, these Hydras would just definitely blast through 2 Goliaths and 2 Vultures. But the drone saturation is really bad. Larva continuing to all in. If Sharp can make a miraculous hold, I mean, he's got a decent amount of SCVs. But Hydras are just so good versus what he has. It's going to be very difficult. Even going to try and focus down this command center now. He may get it. 5, 6 Hydras have big time DPS. Larva is relentless. Just more lings constantly coming across the map. The command center so low. It's 3 hits away. He needs an SCV wall if he wants to stop this. He doesn't know that there's more lings. Here they come. Larva jumping on top of those vultures. Focusing down the Goliath. And really the Goliaths are the big damage dealers. I think this is it. There's just not enough. And it's just a constant stream of red across the map. Larva is going to tie the series. These players just going back and forth, back and forth. It's going to be 3-3. And unfortunately, the new Goliath build ended up just getting picked apart before we could see it come to fruition. Game 7 is a new map, Trespass. And for me, this was an instant veto as soon as I saw it on the ladder. Even faster than Blockchain. And this map reminds me somewhat of Transistor. Transistor has the expansions more towards the middle of the map, whereas the spawn location is towards the middle of the map in this scenario. And on Transistor, it was so hard to deal with Reavers and Carriers, and 2-hatch Muta was very deadly. So as soon as I saw this, I thought to myself, well, This plays completely different than every other map. It's going to be really difficult to deal with those unit comps since we are into a Terran versus Zerg. I don't think we're going to see bio. If we do see bio, the initial opener I would assume is probably going to be most likely 1-1-1. And if Larva goes for something other than 2-hatch Muta, I would be very surprised. If we look at the mini-map, we can see that there's really not that many resources. We've got corner bases, which in my opinion favors the Zerg. You always want to take bases far away from Terran, and for Terran, having bases far away like this is kind of difficult. Also, having the bases in the center of the map, if we look at the angles you have to take just to go to bottom left, for example, in Terran's position, you've got to go all the way to the right, down, and then back to the left. Or you got to go to the right, through the middle, and to the left. There's really not a great path to get to bottom left. So anyways, we do have Sharp going for a 12 gas, and I'm not surprised at all. Larva is going for fast spawning pool with fast gas. Again, not surprising. And this is most likely not going to be for speed. This is just going to be instant lair. The travel distance by air is so short, you can get mutas across the map extremely quickly. The real question is, how is Sharp going to respond to the incoming fast mutas? Are we going to see Goliaths? We already saw that get shut down on the previous map. Are we going to see Valkyries? We saw him pull that out quite a few times in KSL. Or are we just going to see the standard vessels? Now again, something to notice already is that we do have Sharp completely off of gas. And just like last game, that meant that we were going to see the Goliath build that I've been talking about all day long. So far, that looks like the build of choice from Sharp. And actually this SCV got in, surprisingly, and he's going to see that this is fast lair. I don't think he really would have expected anything else. This seems like a very obvious choice for this map layout. Now where's that deadly drone? There he is! There he is! Goodbye! And the lair is probably about halfway done by now. Larva could go into 2-hatch lurker, but that would be pretty shocking. But the mains are pretty big. A lurker drop could potentially be very dangerous. You've got to have vision all around your main. You could even drop from the bottom, drop from the left side, drop from the top. Really tons of angles to go for something like a lurker drop. And Larva, he probably also suspects that this is going to be tech play from Sharp, and we see Ling's already setting up at the right side. Not sure what he wants to do with it, but we do see that Larva is even scouting his main for a potential float. And that is what those Lings were also looking for. They're looking for proxy factory. Definitely going to be a common strategy on this map. And there's the armory, and there's the starport. It is going to be Valkyries. Now Sharp was completely in the dark. If Larva had gone for something like Hydra Lurker, this would have been a pretty deadly opener. Vultures really would not be a good counter to the Lurkers and Hydras, of course. And Valkyrie's so expensive that the amount of ground defense he's actually going to have is very minimal. Now he has built a decent amount of Vultures. This may be for a drop, but that would be pretty surprising, I think. This dropship would come out probably around the time Scourge pop out, and it's likely that that Larva is going to build a couple Scourge, because again, he doesn't know if this is Vessels or if this is Goliaths or Valkyries in this scenario. Oh, mass Lings, I like it. A lot of Lings with even just a handful of mutas is going to be really hard to stop. And 2 Vultures, that's not enough. He needs a bunker or something, and he has no idea that this is coming. And this is the reason why I vetoed Trespass. Look at the game time. We're at 5:15. Larva's already thinking about attacking him with not just Lings. Muta's going to be coming very soon. Lings, oh, what are you doing? You got to get your Vultures back. Is it over? He's got 2 Vultures, and that's it. And we know Mutas are coming. Turret isn't even done. There's the Valkyrie. Valkyries are good. But we've got to deal with the Lings now. Goliath has to survive. It's his only ground defense. The Valkyrie's just standing in the air doing nothing. So far, the Goliath has not really gotten a good angle. One more Goliath pops out, and he will fend it off for now. But one Valk, one Goliath. Luckily, it's only 4 mutas. So for now, Larva's not going to be able to close it out. That was a really dangerous position to be in. And Valkyries are just going to shred these mutas. Hopefully this time, Larva gets +1 armor. Really shut down that Valkyrie damage. We see the first few Scourge coming out. And he's going to have to micro his heart out to make sure this Valk doesn't get picked off. Oh, he does. Oh, I thought that Scourge were in there, but they're not. Now they are mixed in. He's trying to find a connection. So hard to dodge these Scourge. He's going in a circle, but he needs to fire or something. Oh, he baited it into turrets. So nice defense so far. I really thought that those Valkyries were going to get killed. And he might as well fire while he can. One Valkyrie takes a big hit, but the micro's fantastic. Shredding all of these mutas. They're extremely hurt, and he's relieved a lot of pressure now. Larva was really committed to a very low drone count. Sharp is primed to be in a good position to stabilize. Now, of course, he doesn't know this. He can probably guess based on how many Lings have been produced. But Larva's, he's still got his foot on the pedal. He needs to make something happen because really the Lings didn't do that much. I thought they were going to do more than they did. And the mutas didn't do that much either. But here they come. They found an opening. There's no turrets here. It's also an exposed armory. If he can pick off those Valks, that will completely expose the... Oh, the good control with the Valkyrie. One goes down. He gets off a big shot. Oh, is that only 3 mutas left? 7 mutas just evaporated. I didn't even notice because of how fast they died. Larva is in big time trouble. A map that I thought would be very hard for Terran to win on with the Valkyrie and Goliath combo. All of a sudden, Sharp has weathered the storm. He's got a pretty good econ going, whereas Larva's econ is trashed. And this isn't something you see every day. 2 Goliaths and a Valkyrie poking out, and they're actually somewhat safe. And again, something you don't see every day is factories with Goliaths with no add-on, with no range. And these mutas, he's trying to keep up the pressure. Now, did Sharp build a turret near that armory? Nope, it's still exposed. But he's gone for a counterattack. 2 Valks, 3 Goliaths. What? Oh, unfortunately, he's turning around. Now, it looks like Sharp doesn't know what to do. He wants to attack, but he doesn't really have that much. He wants to defend. Oh, no! The Valk, it can't die. That's the heavy hitter. Ends up saving it. He needs to go back and repair. That was a bit greedy with that move out. 3 Goliaths and a Valkyrie. I don't know what Sharp is doing, if he's trying to go back or what, but you can see that his Goliaths are not taking the optimal path. He may be glitching out, just moving across the map. Really don't know what these stutter steps are. But Larva does have his 3rd hatch up and running. Sharp has taken a little bit of damage to these follow-up mutas. And that's something that Larva definitely needs. Looks like we have a little bit of lag again. And Valkyries are very expensive. Sharp cannot afford to lose them. I think he's lost 2 at this point. Now he has put down another turret. So that armory will be safe. Again, Goliaths are moving across the map, but without upgrades, they're pretty exposed. And again, that armory, so exposed. That Valk's going to go down. Oh, no, it's not going to go down. Really nice control with this Valkyrie. Every time I think it's going to get picked off, it ends up getting saved. And now top left is actually going to be breached. Larva is even supply blocked, so he can't build any more units for now. But 6 Goliaths, really not the most dangerous unit. Couple Lings, yeah, he's going to be able to clean this up pretty easily. Remember, they don't have range, so the stutter step micro is going to be pretty difficult to use. And they are going to get cleaned up, and this is not a good position now. Larva's going to start droning. He's going to get his econ going. And 2 fact, Really not the greatest production. Also, just now realizing Sharp wasn't even mining gas that is natural. So he's really been balancing his minerals and gas very well. But he needs to start thinking about getting a third base. Bottom right would be the clear winner. Bottom right, mid right, and that mineral only. That gives you access to 4 base Terran or 5 base Terran with 4 gas. That's a pretty nice little area to have. You don't really have to move that far. Again, another Scourge Muta combo gets both of the Valkyries. What is that, 4 or 5 Valkyries going down? That's over 1,000 minerals. Very, very expensive. And that might be the undoing of Sharp. If he could even have kept maybe 2 of those Valkyries alive, his punching power in his army would be much stronger. Now, we still haven't gotten to look at Larva's base. Has he got a Hydrogen or something? Or is it just pure Mutaman? Seems to be just pure Mutas. He does have +1 armor. We don't know if Sharp has +1 weapon on his mech or if it's on the Valkyries just yet. If Larva gets +2 armor for his air, the Valkyries are going to be essentially worthless. It really doesn't look like there is a Hydrogen or a Queen's Nest or anything. I don't see any blocks in the Zerg's main. But Sharp really needs to get another bait. It is pretty even in supply, which is okay. But Zerg on 3 gas is going to be much stronger than Terran on 2 gas, especially now that Sharp just took his 2nd gas. It's not like Sharp was banking a lot of gas this entire time where he could pump out multiple vessels all at once. How many patches is that? Is that 7 patches? Again, this is a map I never play, so I'm curious how rich these bases are. Is it something like Power Bond, or is this more like Gladiator, like that mineral only we see towards the middle of the map? Is it very limited in resources at every base? Do we have a science facility? There's a science facility. The armory is spinning again, so it is going to be 1-1 upgrades for Sharp. He's not going into the fast 2-1 timing, and this delayed power spike is really going to cost him. 2-1, really the crucial breakpoint in Terran versus Zerg, also the crucial breakpoint in Terran versus Protoss. 1-1 still not a bad upgrade, but really needs to get +2 somewhat soon, especially with these highly upgraded mutas. And pure Goliath and Valkyries versus basically pure mutas. We still don't see a building in Zerg's main. No Hydrogen. It's still pure mutas. But we do have a supply lead for Larva. Oh, he ended up getting +1 attack. And +1 attack is generally the upgrade you're going to get if you're going to camp the game out, which is what Sharp has been doing so far. Really starved on gas. Yeah, there, finally we're getting the 3rd base. Does he have a scanner either? I imagine he has to have a scanner because to go pure Goliath versus Hydras is pretty bad for the Terran. So he must know that this is pure muta. Damn, that's so many mutas. I wish we could get a click on just one of them. Okay, still +1 armor. So the Valkyries will still deal decent amount of damage, but he needs more than 2. The Valkyries are almost negligible when it's only at 2. Here we go. We're going to have a big engagement. How much damage can these Valkyries do? They're trying to avoid the Scourge, but that leaves the Goliaths isolated. And Goliaths in this number are not going to be able to deal with this amount of mutas. He's going to push Sharp back. The Valkyrie has survived. It's sitting over the bunker. Now it's at a pretty good angle. There, +2 armor just kicked in, so that's a huge upgrade for Larva. He can probably just run him over right now. How low are these mutas, though? No, not very low. I'm surprised that he backed off. +2 armor is massive versus a Goliath Valkyrie army, especially when the Valks have no upgrades. And now Sharp has finally realized that, hey, Valkyries aren't going to cut it at this point. Going to switch into some vessels, but is it too late? Because Larva's starting to take top right. And that's going to be 4 base Zerg. Very easy for Zerg to be everywhere with map control and Nidus. Oh, is that a complete wall? Yeah, I didn't think that was a complete wall. So Vulture's going to get into this base, shut down a couple of drones. A nice find. But still, Larva with a 20 supply lead. Sharp should be mined out in his main pretty soon. So basically we're on one base mining. Desperately needs a third base. Probably even needs to double expand at this point. And is that the first comm set? So just blindly, he's been building Mass Goliath. Now it was the right call this game, but a lot of players do go into the heavy upgrades with Mass Hydras. God, that's so many mutas. How many is that? That's like 36 mutas? Still Lair Tech. I would really have liked for Larva to get a Queen's Nest and go for +3 armor. Is it? Oh my god, that irradiate. Okay. A pretty damn good split for how many mutas he had. Now this could actually backfire. Sure, +2 armor on mutas is good. Sure, mass mutas is good, but Hive Tech is a lot better than mass muta. If he had Dark Swarm at this point, even just Lings would win him the game. There's no way to deal with anything under Dark Swarm. Again, a Vulture run by the top right, going to try and get a couple drones. He's going to see that more mutas have been popping, so he's going to be content just pumping out more Goliaths, more vessels. I don't know, at this point, it kind of feels like Larva's kind of clowning a bit. That's so many mutas. This is like what I like to do versus Protoss. Alright, here he goes. Now, how many irradiates does he have? We saw that there's at least 2 vessels out. Valkyrie's coming, no upgrade, so it's not really a big time unit. Oh my gosh, he's on top of the armory, I mean. The irradiate split is pretty good. He's going to catch... Why is he backing off? He has so many mutas, he should know that Terran is really not that heavily upgraded. But he is afraid of these Goliaths. I mean, look how little damage these mutas are taking. Regardless, Sharp has held. He's got mass turrets. He's got bottom right up and running. He needs to get that gas. He didn't lose his vessel either. And now with double armory, okay, he does have +2, which is a big power spike. Again, here come those mutas. I would really... Finally, he's going to pick off these armories. That's what I've been waiting for him to do. And now, not going to be able to build any more Goliaths. Oh, he's going to get at the starport. No, he's not. Yeah, now he's coming back. He should... Dude, just kill it. I think Larva just doesn't recognize the position he's... Oh, there's a great irradiate. Oh, unfortunately on a very weakened muta. But this is one of the reasons you don't pick Trespass. Look at this. Just mass mutas. Just picking Sharp apart. He can bounce between the third base, the main, the natural. Now, this might be a little bit of an overstep. All of the Goliaths are here. There's a decent amount of turrets. Well, maybe it's not even an overstep. Vessel is still alive. Doesn't have energy. And now we're at a really good angle. The Goliaths can't get good surface area. It's going to focus down this command center. But Larva is going to lose a lot. Now, that is a lot of Goliaths. Now we've started to reach critical mass with 2-1. And Sharp should start thinking about just going for it, because he's not going to get a third base. Larva is huge at this point. He's got pretty good upgrades. Another vessel. Oh, that irradiate could be devastating. He doesn't notice. He doesn't notice. This is Sharp's go time. He's got to go now. He's lost so much. He dealt so much damage with that one irradiate. It doesn't even matter to this armory. We just got to go. And that's exactly what he's doing. It's going to be a base trade. Now with the armory down, cannot build any more Goliaths. So either Sharp wins the game with this attack, or he's going to be out of it. And Sunkens are starting to be spammed. Really, look at the supply, 99 to 93. And after killing so many SCVs, there's probably an army lead for Sharp. Also, these are bruised mutas. They're not that bruised, but Still a little bit bruised, and there is an irradiate on that science vessel in about 15 seconds. But he's going to engage right before Irradiate hits, and this could backfire. Here we go. This is going to be the final battle. 3 seconds for Irradiate. Is it enough? Goliaths are dwindling down. Irradiate, he's got one. Cast it. There it is, a really good one on top of a lot of mutas, but it's just not enough. Wow, actually it was enough to fend off the mutas. But with Sunken's up, Sharp is running out of gas. Armory has completed. He's got money, so he can start rebuilding Goliath. Again, he needs to get bottom right. Still 10 mutas left over. And if we look at top right on the minimap, saturation there is really not that good. Top left has pretty good saturation, though. So Econ is still fine for Larva. All he has to do is really just buy a little bit of time. He can even afford to lose his hatchery because he still has top right. But mutas have decided they're just going to engage on top of it. And he does get a couple of the Goliaths. Sunken. Every shot from a Sunken is actually massive. Hatchery's going to get focused down. Drone's even being pulled. Sharp. He just doesn't have enough. So this is going to be it. Just not enough. GG. Sylphid is game 8, and we finally see Larva actually take an advantage in the series. He's up 4-3, 1 game away, but Sharp has shown he's able to keep up with Larva, so I'm not considering him out of it just yet. Now we have seen Sharp start moving towards mech play. Usually players, when they start doing something different, they continue to go with that style. So we saw Bio BC in the early stages of the series. Now we've seen the Goliath build on Bloody Ridge. We've seen Goliath on Trespass. Now both of these maps are very good for the mech style. But Sylphid is also good for mech and BC. But like I said, because usually people just continue to go with what they did in the previous game, I gotta say, I do think that Sharp's most likely gonna go for mech again. He may go for a bio opener into a mech switch, but I do think that this is gonna be some type of mech. Now we do have Larva at bottom left. We've got Sharp at bottom right, and bottom right is my least favorite position on Sylphid. If you guys watched BSL, was it BSL? Yeah, I think it was BSL where I played versus Nagram. If you put turrets at your natural too close to the gas, it actually blocks off a couple of your SCVs from mining. Like, they just get stuck back there. So this is my least favorite position. Now, Sylphid is, again, one of those maps that is pretty difficult to defend 2-hatch Muta. And because of that, I expect Larva to go for the 2-hatch Muta play. It's not going to be the 12 gas that we just saw. Now, so far, there is no gas. There's no extractor. There is the spawning pool. Okay, it went down, and still no gas just yet. So this may actually be a 3-hatch play. I'm a bigger fan of 2-hatch, though. And that drone, it's not doing as well as last time. It's taking a bit of damage, but now it's starting to get off some key hits. Below half. I always got to be careful. Oh, he got him! He got him! I don't think I've ever seen Larva lose a drone like that to an SCV. So, a little cocky there. And he gets punished, finally. And again, still no gas. So this is going to be 3-hatch from Zerg. Something that we don't see that often in ASL or KSL anymore. On the latter, it's almost exclusively 2-hatch also. Now, what does Larva want to do with it? I would really like to see a lurker bust. We haven't seen it all series long. Mutas is just so expected on Sylphid that it would be a nice switch up. We've got a 2 Marine move out, which is really not normal. But this is going to catch Larva off guard. Maybe he's trying to keep the Lings back. You see the SCV go back into the main. He wants to draw those Lings back so he can get into the natural. Even if all he does is pull drones off the natural, that's going to be a nice find. Is he just going to hide it at the top? Oh, there he goes. Now he's going to try and get a couple drones. The Lings are going to come back now. Oh, he's actually going to fight, and he loses. He's going to lose 2 drones for that. Maybe 3. Really nicely done. So 2 oh, he's going back for more. That's a Hero Marine. No. Oh, the SCV is on it. Oh! He got it. Just jabbed him right in his back. Oh. So Larva, I think Larva might just tilt it off here. He's lost 4 drones. He's gotten slapped twice now by an SCV. If I was Sharp, I would start putting down a second depot in front of that bunker. Larva is someone with killer instinct, so he may just go for it. But he's decided he is just going to play normal from here. He does take his extractor at the natural, and that is going to be Mutaplay now. Really uncommon to take your extractor that early with something like lurkers. Now, what I'm most interested to see is how fast Larva is going to get his third base. Because if he takes a third base, even remotely fast, after losing 4 drones, that I'm just going to lose my mind. Well, looks like he wanted to build a Spire, but it didn't build. Still hasn't built. Now he realizes about a 10-second loss there. Not a massive deal, but it's going to allow Sharp to get maybe 1 cycle of Marines extra out. And this was this just 1 Rax? Okay, this whole time it was just 1 Rax. I saw the fire bat pop out, and I thought it was going to be a 2 Rax push. So just like on Overwatch, this seems to be a fast move out with just a handful of Marine Medic into a 5 Rax. And this is going to keep up the pressure. Going to force out a couple more Sunkens, I think. Now that Sharp's not moving out, I am a little surprised. There he goes. Now he's going to go for it. And Larva does have a drone go to top middle. That's going to be where he wants to take his third base. But SCV's already starting to look for it. This is a tiny army. Now, Sharp can afford to lose this tiny army. He's also keeping the Lings back. So Larva doesn't know if there's more behind it or if this is just the entirety of it, because he had to just power drone. He doesn't have extra Lings to go around and scout for it. So a really cute move, forcing out those Sunkens that Larva really doesn't want to build. And now he is just going to turn around, and Larva's going to see that he's been duped. Oh. Now, if those... Okay, I thought Larva was just... Oh no, he's going to intercept the Mutas. Is he going to intercept the Mutas? No, he just barely misses them. But he is going to get a medic. But that's going to at least alert Larva to there being Marines out on the map. He scans, he sees there's no Mutas there, and Larva's going to turn around. Now, Sharp, I love this... Oh, I don't know. He's showing himself. I like when Terrans just hide out on the map. It makes Zerg so worried. They can't put down a third hatch. They've got to turn their Mutas around. Meanwhile, you could have no intention of actually attacking. And we see Larva is actually taking mid-right. So we've got a full-on LZ Gamer base. That's probably never going to get scouted. Oh, Sharp is way out here. He does have a strong bio ball with +1, but Lings from the back, Mutas in the front. Really good medic positioning in the back. But it's not going to be enough. Oh, is it going to be enough? I'm surprised he was able to kill all those Lings. The medic wall ended up benefiting him quite well. Now he's actually going to sync up with these medics. He saves them, and Flash talks about how important it is to save these medics. Even though they're out of energy, that means you don't have to waste a cycle of production on medics. You can just continue to build Marines. So a really nice save there. Now if top middle gets scanned, Sharp's going to think that there is no third base because the drone is just sitting there. So a cute move taking mid-right. But this is a lot of bio, and it's only 10 mutas. So Larva's going to be in big trouble. Right, Muta's trying to find the angle. They have got an isolation from the medics, and they pick off a decent chunk of Marines, and they should be able to pick off these Marines too. Sharp, a little bit unorganized. Really nice catch. Again, just like on Power Bond, Larva, oh, but he's just busting through the front, and does Larva have enough? First sunken done. Firebat in the front will be able to deal with these links so easily, and now he's on top of those drones, and this might be it. More units just streaming across the map. They're +1 Marines. Really good medic wall again, and Larva might have just gotten busted. Oh, there's just not enough. Sharp is going to even up the series. Units are just evaporating, so we've got a tied series 4-4. GG, and it's coming down to the final game. Final map is Circuit Breaker. What a map to end on. This is going to be the map that both players are most comfortable with. So many bases on this map. I hope that we get a split map scenario, have a real slugfest as our last game. But something I've noticed is Larva has not really been very aggressive in this series. The Trespass game was really the most aggressive we've seen. And that's a bit surprising. Larva is one of those people that just randomly will 4-pool in a series, or randomly just speedling all in you. If I was Sharp, I would be pretty worried about a potential very aggro play. Now we do have Larva at bottom left and Sharp at top right. There is no 4-pool. There's no 5-pool. So far, no 9-pool either. And what does Sharp want to do? We saw him attempt an 8 racks on Gladiator. Ended up still winning the game despite it failing. But he's also not being aggressive. And we also haven't seen him be exceptionally greedy. We haven't seen a 14 command center. And I'm watching those minerals. Is he going to go for 14 CC? Oh, he's... Okay, he's just spent it. So no 14 command center. And we did see Sharp mix it up, go into bioplay, when I was really expecting to see some more mech continuation into the Sylphid game. Now, last time I saw Sharp on Circuit Breakers in particular, I think it was versus Soul Key in KSL or ASL, ended up losing, but he was going for the delayed mech style, so that is still a possibility that we're going to see that. And we do have cross positions, so it's going to be harder for Sharp to be aggro with the 5 racks, also harder for Larva to be hyper aggressive also. And it kind of sets up perfectly for split map scenario. If Larva takes top left, then Sharp can take all of bottom right. He can go into the split map mech, which is very cost efficient. So I would like that. If Larva takes top left, I want to see the mech switch. If Larva decides to take bottom right, I think that the BC drop play would be pretty nice. Now Sharp did see the hatchery, and okay, now he went back in. I thought he turned around and was going to bait something out, but now he's coming back in. And there is the command center standard follow-up. It was 2 Marines this time. And again, we do have a third hatch. It is not going to be an aggro 2 hatch play. And again, 2 Marines are moving out. This time, they're hunting for that Overlord. You can see that the Overlord is taking a kind of weird path over to the right side, trying to avoid the Marines for now. Really intelligent move, and SCV is more than likely going to get picked off, whether it's by Lings or whether it's by a drone. You know that Larva is going to get it. And again, we do have Sharp going into 5 racks play. That is a pretty fast gas, unless this is ample. Usually that gas timing is going to be for an eBay, and we do see the eBay block get put down at the top of the base. And this is 6 lings. So what does Larva want to do with these lings? He may just be respecting the fact that Sharp again could try and do a very tiny move out with his initial few Marines. Remember, Larva's coming off of a loss where he lost 4 drones. He really doesn't want that to happen again. Not in the deciding match, at least. And again, Extractor going up at the natural. That means it's not going to be lurkers. It is just going to be standard 2-hatch mutaplay. That academy seems pretty quick. It is pretty quick, isn't it? Yeah, this is again a hybrid build. A very fast academy. He skipped his second. Was it his second and third? No. I'm getting mixed up, but this academy definitely is much faster than usual, maybe 20 seconds faster. So he's going to have stim. He's starting to put down his first couple barracks. Oh, he's got hydrogen going down, but this is definitely a fake. Well, I take that back. Fighting Spirit, he also had the hydrogen with double gas going, and he ended up just going into that passive mass lurker style. So that could be what he's going for again. But Sharp, he is doing the 5 racks. I thought that he was going to move out with the initial couple Marines, but maybe this isn't a hybrid and I'm just misreading this completely. Always a bit dangerous. I see that his Marines are kind of out away from his command center, and Larva is someone that will build an excessive amount of links, so that is a bit risky that he has them positioned there. He really could get them caught, but so far, not going to get punished. There are the 5 barracks. They've all gone up, and again, yeah, this is a very weird opener because 6 Marines is really not the safest build to go for. And this is going to be the Fighting Spirit style. I'm really surprised. He is going to take top left. Okay, we got the scenario I wanted. Top left. If this game does go long, like it did go long in Fighting Spirit, we do have the option to go for split map mech play. I really like it on Circuit Breaker. Now, does Sharp recognize it? He's going to scan, see that mutas have popped. Whoa. I don't know if I've ever seen this. 2 Hydras setting up to take top left. Meanwhile, Zerg has made 6 mutas, so it looks like this is mutaplay. But in reality, this is, just like Sharp, a hybrid move. He's expanding while going lurkers at the same time. Now, how many turrets did Sharp build? Does he know that this is an in-between build? Doesn't look like he knows just yet. He's going to start moving across the map to the bottom left. And, oh, there's already a lurker position. So I was a little weary that Larva would be in trouble because he doesn't know where the army is. Mutas are going to try and deal with this turret. He's going to take it down, but Sharp's going to be feeling pretty confident. What? He scanned. I can't believe he scanned. He sees that there are lurkers now, and he's actually not going to bust through. I thought this was going to be a genius move from Larva to have lurkers just hidden here. It looks like it's one sunken with mutas across the map. If it was me 100%, I would have just stemmed into it. In hold position, lurkers probably would have wrecked me. So a really genius move. I love it. And I like how the Overlord is over top of the lurker, making it really hard to focus fire. And behind this, Larva has gone into the Fast Queen's Nest. Everything looks pretty much identical. Sharp is going to send an SCV across the map, gets picked off, so he still doesn't know about top left. He does confirm that there's no base bottom right, though, and so he'll know that top left has been taken. Now, what does he want to do to punish it? I see something floating. Is that going to be the factory floating again? So we may see more BC play. Double starport going down. Extremely fast starport. Every single time Sharp has played this bio, he's gotten his starports up extremely fast. And I think he's able to do that because, catching a few mutas. I think he's able to do that because he's really skimping on the early game. 6 Marines, that is so risky to go for with that before getting a fire bat and a medic. Usually you're getting like 10, 11 Marines before even thinking about getting a medic out. Now what is that building? Okay, science facility, of course. So this is 5 racks play, but it's got vessel timing like it's a 4 racks, which is really interesting. I've made a 4 racks video, and one of the powers I like about it is having 6 vessels so fast that you can just irradiate forever and ever. So far we haven't seen Sharp use that just yet. I wonder if that's what he's going to do this time, because this time we haven't seen him build any dropships. He is just waiting for the science facility to finish to pump out those vessels, and he is taking mid-right. Now what could this mean? Because usually you're taking the mineral only as Terran. Is he already setting up to go into split map mode? Mid-right is obviously a much harder base to defend, but it does have gas, so he must want something that is gas intensive. Now battle cruisers are very gas intensive, so we may see the triple starport BC style that we've already seen. Meanwhile, Hive should be done pretty soon for Larva if it's not already done, and Factory has landed. He's starting to get more mines, so this is looking like the Overwatch builds. Oh, Armory! Armory! Now, we saw Sharp get +1 weapon on his BCs on Overwatch, but this Armory is much faster than I was anticipating, so this might finally be the mech switch, and this is one of the best maps to use it on. It's a very strong build. Now, it's also one of the hardest maps to use it on because of the middle not being buildable. If this was Overwatch, that would have been a much easier map to defend on. That's of course assuming that we are going for the mech switch. We still don't know just yet, but that is a surprisingly fast armory so far. Now vessels have made their way to top left, and there's only a couple lurkers there. Now, how many are actually burrowed there? Is it just 2? It's probably going to be 3 or 4. Good irradiate's going to take out a couple lurkers. And you can see that Sharp is setting up to just mass expand because he's got a task army at bottom right. He's still got these few Marines sitting outside of the entrance. And he's also got Marines just sitting at his third base. Meanwhile, taking the mineral only, so he's really exploding in econ. And we do see a couple more buildings going down in his main, and those are right next to the barracks. So it's probably going to be more barracks play. Oh, Greater Spire. Now, I'm usually a fan of this type of play when you're playing 2-hatch Muta. But I like it a lot now because he knows where the vessels are, which are top left, and they're using all their irradiate energy there. So getting Guardians on the right side of the map to just shut down mid-right is going to be fantastic. There's going to be really no way for the Terran to engage it. So a nice move, a unit that we really haven't seen this entire series. And it's only going to be 4 Guardians, which again is a number that I like. I don't like to see an excessive amount. There's really no need to build 10, 12 Guardians. Just a couple is nice. I wish we could get a look into Sharp's main because it looks like stuff is floating off. Yeah, he's definitely floating something in his main. So this might not actually be bio. But meanwhile, Zerg has gotten outside of his base, and I saw a Defiler at the natural. Doesn't seem to be mixed in with this army just yet. But Ling Lurker bust to mid-right would be very annoying. It is a mech switch. Mass Vultures are starting to come out. Would like to see what's going on in the middle of the map. Are there Lurkers and Lings there? It's just Lings. Vultures do find it. They don't have speed just yet, so nothing is really giving away that this is a mech switch just yet. Vessels, they knew it was coming somehow, and he's moved them to bottom right. He's going to irradiate a couple of these Guardians. So actually he's going to clean it up pretty well. But Larva has started to take his 4th base, and 4 base Zerg, of course, always dangerous. And there are the 6 vessels that I was really expecting to see. Counterattack to the mineral only. Bunker is going to save the day for now. So Sharp is going to defend. But it's going to start getting really hectic very soon. Larva's econ has gone unhindered. This is not a good sign to see him already sending lings all over the map. Big drone cycle right there. So fourth base is going to be saturated extremely quickly. Now, Larva still doesn't know what this is. He really hasn't killed a lot of the bio. He may suspect something's up since there hasn't been any drops. But 6 vessels is kind of a lot to build if you're going to go for mech. So he may still think that this is a bio play. Meanwhile, Vulture's trying to get some mines all over the map. I am a little worried that Sharp hasn't secured bottom right. This is one of the things you have to do when you're going for a mech switch. You've got to get bottom right set up pretty quickly, because if a Defiler ever just got to bottom right and just sat there and casted Dark Swarm, it's going to be so hard for you to ever get it. A couple vessels go down. Really nice plague there. But I do hope that Sharp starts thinking about taking bottom right, because the longer the game goes, the harder and harder it's going to be to actually get that base. Now, so far, we do have a big supply lead, up 55 supply, but not really a huge issue at this point, since the majority of the supply is in Marine Medic, and they're not really that upgraded. Also, Vultures are kind of wasted supply. There goes that SCV. You can see that it's just going to get shut down immediately. Is that a command center floating bottom right? It may be a command center floating bottom right. Goliath's coming out. I don't know. This is a weird initial unit comp. Of course, you're always building Vultures initially, but to not have any tanks, it is kind of surprising, because Dark Swarm is going to shut down Vultures, it's going to shut down Goliath, it's going to shut down Marine Medic. We really have nothing that can bust through any Dark Swarm. Now, if we look at Sharp's gas, he's extremely gas starved. So I don't know how he's so gas starved, but he is. And because of that, that's probably why he's not building a lot of tanks. Meanwhile, Marine Medic attack going to try and shut down this mineral only, but lurkers are already set up. How many factories does he have? He has 3 just sitting at his entrance. He may have overbuilt factories. Okay, this is 10 factories. Okay, that's one of the reasons he doesn't have any tanks, is because he built up his factory count extremely quickly. Now, he will have a lot of production, but did it give Larva enough time to just deny bottom right? Because now that we don't have any tanks there, like I said, bottom right's going to be so hard to defend. Lings are going to shut it down again. And if Sharp is obligated to take top middle, you're basically ceding the rest of the map to Zerg. And 5 base Terran is strong, but you're not going to be able to overtake 10 base Zerg. Meanwhile, this Marine Ball finally got plagued. It's going to get shut down by Lings, and I'm just not liking Sharp's position at this point. He's finally got a... Ooh, now I like that. He's got 2-1 on his tanks already. An Eraser coming in, but Nidus is already set up. Doesn't kill anything, really. Nicely done. Instant reaction. Now, 2-1 is great. That's the big time breakpoint for... Oh, are we going to get a juicy drone kill? Yes, big time drone kills this time. Going to erase them off the map, but the vessels are going to go down. And you always got to be careful losing your vessels like this during a mech switch. Zerg can always just switch into mass mutas at any point. And we see that Larva has over 2,000 gas. So that is a viable strategy that he could go for. Ling's going to catch some more Vultures. Sharp finally going to get his natural at bottom right. But Larva is on 5 base. He's got so much gas available. I wonder what he wants to use it for. A muta switch would really be devastating. Meanwhile, Sharp is just... Oh, what are those Vultures doing? Now, I had this yesterday where my race just stood still, didn't fire, despite units being right next to them. More Vultures trying to harass this mineral line. They're going to find some more drone kills. Now, this is great, but Larva just has so many hatcheries that this doesn't really feel worth it. Sharp is near max, though, so he does need to free up supply to get more tanks. And he is taking top middle. if he can get up a depot wall just like you do in Terran versus Protoss, he should be able to secure it. And mid left is going to get taken down, but again, a counterattack to bottom right. And this isn't even a very big... Oh, there we go. We've got tons of tanks set up, and these Lings should get shredded. Maybe. Oh no, Lings are actually getting on top of a couple of tanks. And even though all the Lings are going to die, they did trade better than I thought. And this is starting to get very worrisome. We've got almost even supplies. We now see where that gas is going. Ultras and Guardians. Ultra's going to take care of this mineral only. There's nothing there because all the tanks were out in the center of the map. So this is going to get shut down. And now, remember those vessels that we just lost? Oh, that irradiant. How did he find these Guardians? Oh, how many did he kill? Like 7. How did he even know they were there? He must have flew over a mine. That was a game-changing save right there. There was really not much anti-air to deal with this one Guardian. So amazing, amazing hold from Sharp. And now he's going to secure bottom right. Top middle has gotten shredded. It's starting to get very chaotic. And you can see Sharp is kind of starting to float a bit of resources. This is the hardest part about playing the mech switch. You've just got to be everywhere. Meanwhile, a drop going to come bottom right. Larva's everywhere. This is why you got to build so many tanks in the early game so you can just station them and not think about them ever again. Guardian is still alive. It's only one, but it doesn't matter because tank don't shoot up. Here comes that drop. And we can see Sharp just bouncing between his main and this bottom right base. Mineral only got shut down. Bottom right's getting shut down because of that Dark Swarm. Really good play from Larva. He's taking supply lead. Sharp is just falling apart. I think Larva has done it at this point. 5 base Zerg, 6 base with mineral only going up. Mid left is going to go up pretty soon. Lings are still just flooding across the map everywhere. Oh my goodness. 3-2 upgrades for the Zerg. Out upgrading the Terran. These Lings are hitting so hard. Another drop. Going to clear out some mines and get some vulture kills. And now mid-right is going to be under threat. If there's a defiler in here, this base may just flat out die. Doesn't look like there's a defiler, but Lings just tearing through everything. And the Goliaths are getting choked up on the bridge, which is allowing the Lings to just kill more SCVs. This is heartbreaking. Sharp, he's falling apart. He's trying to do as best he can with these vultures, but there's just so much econ for the Zerg that these drone losses really don't matter. Now, he did wipe out the entire drone line, which is surprising, but he's got to get another base. He's mined out in his main as natural. Third base is going to be close to mined out pretty soon also. Mineral only is pretty pretty full at this point, but 2 base mining for Terran essentially. And Zerg is what, like on 4 or 5 base mining? Oh no. Was he only mining half the patches this whole time? I don't know, but regardless, half of the patches are already gone. So really, 1.5 base mining for Terran, not a good position to be in. Also, look at his gas. We can see that sometimes his gas is only going up by 2. That means he's depleted. So he's in big time trouble. Another good drop on top of these tanks. Tanks so crucial to your meching Terran. You cannot live off of just mines, and ultras are just so strong. They can just eat mines for days. I would really like for Larva to do another defiler drop with those Lings, because if we look at what Sharp has to defend, there's really nothing to defend the Dark Swarm. Or something like a Muta switch would be good. There's only 2 vessels, but I would really like the defiler switch. That Guardian is still alive. Sharp has somehow gotten bottom right. I'm so surprised that he was able to get it. Now, he does have a lot of his army stationed down at bottom right, so the longer the game goes, the better it is for him. He's going to finally start mining there, but not a good sign to see. Oh, another good Ling and defiler drop plaguing a ton of those tanks. Shuts down the mining again. But bottom middle is taken from Zerg, and Sharp, I thought, was going down there to kill it, but he can't because look Larva, he's just everywhere on the map. Overlord's dropping bottom right. He's attacking with Lings to bottom right. He's sending more Lings to top. Now, they are getting killed by mines, so that shows you how well Sharp is mining the map. But Ultras are just... He's trading so well, constantly killing all these tanks. I don't think we've really seen a single blob of tanks that are over 5. Like, they just always get picked off. Bottom middle has gotten found. He's going to try and shut it down. Sends a bunch of Ultras and a few tanks. Needs to mine that gas at his 4th base. More mines being set up. Ultra's so strong though, they don't care. Look at him. He's just going. Larva's gonna hold it. Only a couple tanks. Are those... Do they have Lings in there? Really? Dude, like, how do you deal with a Zerg that can play like this? Constant Ling drops. It's almost like a free drop for him because of how cheap the Lings are. Meanwhile, another counterattack to the mineral only. Lings are going to clear the way, allow those big hitters, the Ultras, to get in here. He's going to just run through the mines again, drags them into tanks. Goodbye, tank. 2 Ultras for 3 tanks, shutting down the mineral line also. Mid left has gotten up and running. And I like how every time we check the bases of Larva, he's got good saturation at every base. It's not like he has the base and he's only mining with like 2 drones. He's got perfect mining every time you look. I still don't know how Sharp is in this game though. To be even supply is very impressive. Now this is what I was waiting for. Lurkers and Defilers, but that's not the one. Need to bait out some of those mines with an Ultra or a Ling. Here he goes. Now he's going to bait out those mines. Lurker going to come in. Dark Swarm going to shut down the mineral line. It's just so hard to keep up. Oh, these Ultras doing so much work. Bottom middle might actually get taken down. But Sharp, he's not mining. He's got 1.5 bases. This mineral only got shut down. Mid right is almost mined out completely now. So bottom right is really the only mining base for him. More drops coming. And this is going to clean up the tank army. Again, not a lot of tanks here. 7 tanks with mines surrounding them. That's so dangerous. Ling's going to pull into the tanks. Ultra. There's the Defiler. Dark Swarm goes off. Ends up getting almost all the Lings. This tank's going to get taken down. Sharp is trying to take bottom right. He might actually get it, but we've got a big supply lead now for Larva. Up 40 supply. It's just too chaotic at this point. These mines, I have to say though, Sharp has done maybe the best job I've ever seen laying mines all over the map. The mines are really what's saving him in this game because his tank count is extremely low. But because Larva's just running into mines all day long, he's actually almost, I don't want to say completely stabilized, but if there could be a relaxing moment for about a minute, he might actually stabilize the game and get bottom right. But we finally see a few queens have come out, more Lings and Ultras flooding to bottom right. He knows that this is the only base that matters in this game. If he shuts down bottom right, this game is done. Just endless Lings. Queens have come out. As soon as they bank up energy, he can pop all those tanks. Lings and Ultras into the mineral line. Going to shut that down. Sharp has almost no money now. Look at it. It's 200 minerals, 1,500 gas. Bottom middle got killed. A single Ling dealing so much damage. More Ultras just flooding everywhere. Mid right's going to get cleared out by this Ultra. I want to know if we have +3. Okay, we do have +3 on the mech. There's the queens. We've been waiting for him, and he's just going to be able to clone all these queens onto all those tanks, and we're just going to see 6 tanks go down for free. Oh, are we not? Looks like the queens have moved off for now. There's a couple that still have vision, or do they? but he at least so many units. He drew all the units to bottom right. Now he's going to attack top right. There's nothing there. Queens are going to intercept these tanks. Oh, I love it. I love it. Goodbye, tank. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. 4 tanks down, and this is it. Larva has just too much. It's 150 to 90. He's finally broken through. Vultures cannot deal with Ultralisk, and it's just endless amounts of units. This is why Flash says when Larva's on top of his game, he's almost impossible to beat. You're seeing it. He's just a macro god. GG. But this is one of the best series out of all the End of the World series. We've had 5-4 series before, such as Flash versus Zero, but almost every single game in this series was close. So really nicely done from Larva, and Sharp was really impressing me with this play. I really like his Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Terran, as I stated previously, but clearly he can hang with players like Larva in Terran versus Zerg. So hopefully we get to see him again